There we go. I was muted. Ba-ba-ba. Hey everybody, how's it going today? I'm going on vacation next week, and so instead of just doing 2 chapters like usual, I'm about to do 6 like a fucking madman because I don't want to leave a trip. It's been a lot. I see Vader's asking what are these titles anymore. They're directly related to the book. Directly related to the book. It's all about communism versus capitalism. They're not doing a great job with their arguments. Try to hop through the chat real quick and catch up with y'all, and then we can go ahead and oh, hey, Lunars0707, thanks for following on Twitch. And Alexis Kaufman, and hello and goodbye JD20. If you're in the chat here on YouTube, thanks for subscribing. But yeah, let me run through chat real quick. Say hello to you all. Brad Walter, hi guys, I've been here for a real long time, and I just want you to know all you guys are great. Well, thank you. I'm glad you appreciate and enjoy what we're doing. Interview show says, yo, hello back to you. Wowie came in and left, but maybe they'll be back around when they leave the Publix. Because if we're doing 6 chapters, this could run for 3 hours. Who knows? Alex Lemons is here. Hello. Oh, Batfan 1939. What's happening, fam? We about to read a book. Maddie, I hate to be a bearer of bad news, but Critters is losing out to Hawk and Dove on a poll in Reddit as the most underrated episode of the DCAU. Well, guess what? It's not underrated because it's the best episode and everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. Like it's deep in the lexicon of DCAU knowledge that Critters is the best episode. Maybe would it be a good idea for me to just do like a video on why I love Critters? I think that might be a fun idea. I might do that. Maybe that's something I could write up and like shoot really quick before leaving for vacation. Let's see, when do I leave? I leave in exactly a week. Should I speed run a Critters Love Fest video? Let's see. Uh-oh, the mic. LOL, and have fun on that vacation. And oh, this is going to be good. Oh yeah, it's going to be a trip. Danny's here! Danny! Absolutely, I'm so in for a Critters vid. Alright, well then, I might do it. Sissy! What if we got really high tonight and watched Critters?
Any idea?
And I wrote a video on why Critters is good.
I figured that would happen eventually.
Like, we get like live reaction shots of us watching Critters and splice those in. We can make it work. We'll figure something out. Maybe not tonight. I do have a couple things to do today, but soon, maybe. It seems like a good idea. Forget the Ben 10 retrospective that I'm keep putting off. It's gonna be the Critters. But with that said, I'm gonna hop over to the book. Oh, that's not the book. That's the Twitter. Danny had to be here for this. You did. You did have to be here for this because it's gonna be a fucking ride. Let me get away from the Twitter. Ciao. That's the. There it is. There's the book. For those of you who haven't been with us through the book so far, essentially back in the 1970s during the Cold War, Russia created their own metahumans and then put them on ice just in case something happened. And I don't really understand why they were put on ice, because if something happened, you might want them there to stop it. But they put them on ice, and then the only people who knew immediately died. One killed the other, and off of a fucking ravine on accident, getting away from the area. So they're both dead. The Russian were just kept on ice for like 25 years or so. And then there was a natural disaster in the area that the Justice League came to deal with. I kept hearing... There we go. I think my cord is being a little weird. Is this better now, y'all? Batfan and Brad? Hopefully it's better. I'm not hearing the cuts in my headphones. But yeah, essentially, we've got Russian sleeper cell metahumans on ice for like 25 years, and then there's a natural disaster in the area. The Justice League comes to take care of it, and in doing so, the power supply to whatever was keeping them on ice goes out, so they wake back up in the new world after the USSR has been, dissolved, and the Cold War's over, and they see the news reports, and they think that everything is American and capitalist propaganda, and that the USSR was defeated in the war, and they want to fight the Justice League. So they go to Mount Rushmore to fight the Justice League and take down capitalism. And it doesn't go so well for either side. We're getting a lot of new subscribers still. Brad Walter's a new subscriber. Well, hey, thanks, Brad. Agent Ash, Glenn Ayers, thanks for subscribing. But yeah, so that's basically where we are. Hey, Andrew, how's it going? How are things going with me this week? I graduate college tomorrow, so things are going pretty cool. I finished shooting our Pride Month video yesterday. I graduate college tomorrow. Things are pretty nice. Things are pretty cool. And we're going to try to get through the last 6 chapters of Red Justice today. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to start chapter 8 now that I've basically got y'all caught up. I feel like there was a retreat on both ends from the Mount Rushmore battle. So that's basically where we are. Is there ever going to be a Vanishing Point season 2? I don't know. I didn't even think of like the first set as a season, but now that you mention it, maybe I can come up with some ideas and bat them around. Think about it. I am moving this November, so if I were to start doing Vanishing Point again, I would want to wait until after I'm in the new place and have like an area set up for it. Have like a set rather than standing in front of the bookcase. But we'll see. I know I've gotten a lot of requests to go back to Vanishing Point. And it's all just going to be dependent on if I can find the ideas. But yeah, Chapter 8. Blaze paced nervously around the cryogenic laboratory deep in the Ural Mountains. The hours since their hasty retreat from Mount Rushmore and their return to the lab had been filled with anxiety and indecision for the confused speedster. As the rock slide had struck, Blaze zoomed back to Red Fury, who had slipped into unconsciousness following his battle with Wonder Woman. Sanu arrived next. When she had seen her fallen comrade, she lifted him onto her shoulder, then ran from the gorge. Blaze had then helped Beacon and Grey Heron get to their feet. The clouds of dust from the tumbling rocks had provided the cover that Red Dawn needed to slip from the area and head back to Russia. With their leader down, they had seen no point in continuing the battle, and so, mustering all their remaining strength, they'd fled. As Blaze had raced back across the sea, she'd felt very confused. For the first time since reawakening, doubt crept into her mind. Flash's words about the US and Soviet Union somehow rang true. She could not decide if she felt this way because she was intrigued by the Scarlet Speedster, or because the Justice League hadn't launched an all-out attack on Red Dawn at Mount Rushmore. If they were indeed enemies, why wouldn't they have sent the entire team to eliminate Red Dawn with a full show of their might? So, for those of you who weren't here last time, Flash is very horny for Blaze simply because she is also a speedster, and I guess that she is also horny for him. Or to put in DCAU speak, the vanishing point, the adventures continue. True. Where are we? I lost track talking about them being horny. There we go. Blaze now stopped her pacing and stared down at the still unconscious form of Red Fury. He was sprawled out on one of the steel tables in the lab's central room. According to Beacon and Grey Heron, who had been closest to Red Fury during his battle, the Amazon had done nothing to cause their leader's sudden weakness. They were at a loss to explain his collapse. The sight of this huge muscular figure slumped helplessly on the lab table made Blaze feel even more unsure of the future. What do we do if Red Fury doesn't recover? She worried. On a television monitor in the control room, a reporter blared on about Red Dawn, the battle at Mount Rushmore, and the deteriorating US-Russian relations. The whole world knows about us now, she thought. How long will it be before they find our little sanctuary here? Blaze's racing thoughts were interrupted by a sudden movement on the lab table. Red Fury stirred and groaned, then opened his eyes and sat up abruptly. "Why am I back here?" he asked, his voice sounding once again firm and commanding as strength returned to his body. Not waiting for an answer, he jumped from the table and hurried into the main control room, followed closely by Blaze. In the control room, Beacon was busy at the lab's computer, trying to access the files of the scientists who had created Project Red Dawn. He was searching for clues about the mysterious illness that had come upon Red Fury so suddenly in the midst of battle. "It is good to see you awake again," Sanu said, clasping Red Fury's shoulder firmly. "How do you feel?" Grey Heron asked. "I'm fine," Red Fury replied, waving his hand as if pushing the question away. "Tell me what happened back there." Taking turns, Sanu, Grey Heron, and Blaze filled Red Fury in on the sudden end of the battle at Mount Rushmore. These metahumans remind me of the Ultimate. I can kinda see that. When Beacon saw you go down, he destroyed an outcropping, causing a rock slide, Blaze explained. "I believe that the two Justice League members escaped. We then took the opportunity to retreat until we could understand what happened to you. What do you recall exactly?" "It came from out of nowhere," Red Fury replied. "I felt weak, then very warm and dizzy. The Amazon shoved me easily to the ground, then placed her golden rope around me. For a few moments, I felt compelled to speak only the truth, though I can't remember what I said. The next thing I knew, I was waking up here." "I may have found something useful," Beacon announced, looking up from the monitor for the first time in hours. "I've managed to access Dr. Pushkin's private files. As I told you before, unfortunately, some of the files were damaged when you smashed..." I can't do, separate Russian-esque accents. I do not have the range or experience to be giving these people in character characterizations. I feel like that's been an ongoing thing through this book. "As I've told you before, unfortunately, some of the files were damaged when you smashed the control panel. I've got an audio file made around the time of our cryogenic freezing. It appears to be incomplete, but here's what I've got." The 5 members of Red Dawn listened intently as Dr. Pushkin's voice crackled over the control room speakers. "Soon after awakening, in order to maintain the integrity of their genetic structures..." Then the speakers went silent. "That's it?" Red Fury raged. "That's all there is!" "As I said," Beacon explained calmly, "the files were damaged." He played the tiny snippet of speech again and again, but its meaning was no more clear than it had been the first time. "I believe he was talking about us," Blaze concluded. It appears that something has to be done after we came out of cryogenic freeze in order to maintain our genetic integrity. Perhaps that explains what happened to you, Grey Heron offered up to Red Fury. Maybe your genetic structure is starting to break down. Oh, this is like almost exactly the Ultimate then. Will this happen to all of us? Blaze wondered aloud. Dr. Pushkin is the only one who knows what needs to be done in order to stabilize our genetic makeup, Sanu pointed out, but he is dead. Soon after awakening, in order to maintain the integrity of their genetic structures, Dr. Pushkin's voice sounded again, like an echo from the grave. This time, however, the recording continued and a second voice came through the speakers. Fine, spare me the technical details and just get on with it. General Kolnikov! Red Fury exclaimed. The sound of the general's voice offered a glimpse of hope. He will know what must be done to stabilize our genetic structures. It is now imperative that we find him. But how? Asked Grey Heron. Then he suddenly collapsed to the floor, gasping for breath. Heron! Blaze shouted as she and Sanu rushed to his side. Grey Heron's breathing returned to normal, and he slipped into a deep sleep. Are we just going to wait here until each one of us is affected by this genetic breakdown? Blaze asked, a bit more forcefully than she would have liked. That may not be necessary, Beacon announced, having uncovered another of Pushkin's files. While Sanu carried Grey Heron to a lab table, Blaze and Red Fury peered over Beacon's shoulders. It appears that Dr. Pushkin has set up a second, smaller cryogenic lab in addition to this one, Beacon explained. It's not far from here, and it may hold some answers. It's at least worth investigating. A second lab! Red Fury repeated, intrigued. I'll investigate it, Blaze volunteered. Speed and stealth are of the utmost importance. We must find this lab before the rest of us become too weak to act. And with the media buzzing around, Red Dawn, the fewer of us out in the public, the better. Red Fury stared at Blaze for a moment. Go then, and find that second lab, he ordered. He then yanked a small black rectangular box from his belt and handed it to her. This is the signal device we use to open the entrance to this lab. It may be helpful in locating and opening Pushkin's second facility. Blaze nodded and took the device, then sat down next to Beacon, who shared what he had found about the second lab. While its exact location was not clear, Blaze got a pretty good idea of where to begin her search. With a quick glance back at Grey Heron, she turned and sped from the laboratory. So we got a page break, but there's not really anything to note quite yet. Almost everything that's been mentioned has been mentioned already. All the characters, the locations, all that kinds of stuff. So, you know, there it goes. Congratulations on graduating, Maddie. Commencement. The end of one thing, the start of something new. Willem Dafoe voice. Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I'm hoping that this means that on the other end of the pandemic, as things are starting to clear up, that I don't have to go back into food service or, you know, customer service or anything like that. Ugh. But I suppose we will see. I'm hoping that I can just get a job writing shit. Or like Sonic the Hedgehog on Twitter. Give me your jobs if you have any. I would work for Sonic. Flash raced up the jagged peaks, then down into the deep valleys of the windswept Ural Mountains. In his hand, he grasped a small scanner that had been programmed to search for the DNA imprint of Sanu. The comlink on his belt, which was tied into the usual one he wore in his ear, kept him in constant contact with Batman in the Batcave, and Green Lantern and Wonder Woman on the Watchtower. 500 miles down, 1,500 to go, Flash reported as he sped along. No sign of the Russian ballerina or of the secret lab. Keep us posted, Wonder Woman said through the comlink. You guys will be the first to know, Flash replied. As he continued his high-speed search, his thoughts turned to Blaze. I know I'm supposed to be looking for the lab and clues about General What's-His-Face, but I can't help thinking that if I could just talk with Blaze again, I could convince her that we're not enemies. Flash sighed deeply. Figures, with my luck, that I meet someone I really like, and I can tell she likes me, and she turns out to be a defrosted relic from the Cold War. But hey, if it wasn't tough and complicated, it just wouldn't be any fun. Flash's thoughts were interrupted by his DNA scanner. Deep, 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 deep. It's not even beeping, it's deeping. No more calls, please, he said, slowing to a stop. We have a winner! I see it, Batman replied. The information from the DNA scanner was transmitted by the comlink's data port to a readout on the Bat computer. Looks like you found your match. Flash recovered the ground he had just raced across, tightening the arc of his path, following the strength of the scanner's signal to narrow in on the exact location of Sanu and the cryogenic lab. The reading seems to max out right here, Flash reported, moving the scanner across a curved section of rock extending up from the narrow plateau of which he stood. Any sign of a door? Green Lantern asked. Flash ran his gloved finger along the surface of the rock, where the DNA reading was the strongest. No such luck, he said. No door, no window, no welcome to the secret lab sign. Looks like they're not too fond of visitors. I'm gonna have to do this the hard way. Good luck, Hotshot, said Green Lantern. You can do this. Thanks, pal, Flash replied. For as much as Flash and Green Lantern sometimes clashed over style, methods, and personality, Flash had nothing but respect for the Emerald Warrior's knowledge and experience, not existence. Jesus. If it was existence, that would put some different context in this. His words of encouragement meant a great deal to the Scarlet Speedster. Flash switched off the DNA scanner and hooked it onto his belt. Then he shut off his comlink. He knew that the slightest disturbance or interruption could spell disaster. Slowly, the Flash brought his hands together in front of his face and took a deep, even breath. Using the meditation techniques Jean taught him, Flash concentrated on slowing his thoughts and focusing all his power on the task at hand. Steady, he thought. Easy. Focus. Focus. Placing his palms flat against the smooth rock wall, the Flash eased his body forward until his chest and legs also pressed against the hard surface. Breathing steadily, uniformly, Flash felt his heart rate slow. He concentrated all his tremendous power of speed, not as he usually did on moving his legs as quickly as possible, but rather on accelerating the individual molecules of his body so that they moved faster and faster. That's it, he thought as an odd numbness spread through his body. He had never actually achieved the feat of vibrating through a solid object. He had lived through the experience in his meditations and had seen his mentor, Barry Allen, perform the feat countless times. There we go, second Barry Allen name drop in the fucking book. Yet somehow, he knew that he was doing it correctly, that this unfamiliar feeling coursing through his veins meant that he was on the right track. The numbness in his body gave way to a fluid sensation, and he felt himself moving forward, as if through a thick liquid rather than through solid rock. The molecules of his body spread in their accelerated orbit, moving around and past those of the rock. Flash moved forward at an excruciatingly slow pace, repeating the simple word in his mind. Focus, focus! Just as Jean had taught him during their exercises together. In the back of his mind, Flash knew that if he lost concentration or pushed his journey too quickly, his own molecules could very easily end up fused with those of the rock. Oh, hey Scarloey, how's it going? We need a Barry Pog emote. True, we should figure something like that out. I also like this visual here of Flash and the Rock fusing together. I hope they do that in the DCEU. Just have Ezra Miller and The Rock become one entity. Just have them stuck in together. Where was I? Leaving him trapped in the side of this mountain forever. This thought caused a tiny knot of panic to form deep in the outer regions of his consciousness, but he pushed the thought down, repeating, focus, focus, as he moved further ahead. The journey continued, one painfully slow step at a time, for what seemed like days to Flash, but in reality was only minutes. Through no conscious decision, his pace suddenly picked up. The feeling had shifted from one of walking through molasses to that of gliding through a deep pool of water. The steps came more easily now, and Flash fought hard to hold back his excitement and his own success. And then he was through. The liquid sensation shifted back to the numbness in his body, and the solid brown that had filled his field of vision gave way to patches of color as he stepped through the thick wall and into Red Dawn's secret laboratory. Fortunately for the Flash, he emerged at a point some distance from the lab's main area and control room. Leaning against the wall, he caught his breath. "I made it!" he thought as feeling flowed back into his limbs and his vision returned to normal. Glancing around, he saw no one, but he heard noises from down a corridor. He switched his comlink back on. "I'm in!" he whispered. That wasn't a whisper. "I'm in!" he whispered. There we go. Flash could hear sighs of relief from his friends in the watchtower and the Batcave. Damn, sounds like someone's cutting a tree down out there. "You okay?" Green Lantern asked. "Never better, pal," Flash whispered. "I'm going to take a peek around." Feeling his energy restored, Flash raced down the corridor at blinding speed, exhilarated not only by his achievement, but by the realization of how much easier it was to move his legs at super speed than it had been to move his individual molecules. Flash entered the lab's main chamber, running around its perimeter. Then he sped in and out of the control room, where Beacon sat at the main computer with Red Fury looking over his shoulder. Flash was now moving faster than the eyes of Red Dawn could follow. It was as if he were invisible to them, which was precisely what he had in mind. As he streaked through the main room, Flash spotted Grey Heron and Sanu, each lying on a separate steel table, apparently unconscious. There was no sign of Blaze anywhere. Having read of Red Fury's abilities, Flash feared that even a whisper might be detected by his enhanced hearing, so he brought his teammates up to speed on the situation in the lab via a Morse code signal transmitted through his comlink. He repeated his unseen journey around the main room and through the control room again and again, several times a second. "See if you can locate a data port in the control room's main computer," Batman advised, using the same coded transmission. "Place the comlink's data probe into the port. That should relay all systems files back here to me." On his next pass through the control room, Flash slipped the probe into the computer. 2 passes later, Batman signaled that all the files had been downloaded. On his next trip through the room, Flash snatched the probe from the console far too fast for Beacon or Red Fury to notice. While Flash kept running, Batman quickly analyzed his new data. Among all the information he received, the existence of Dr. Pushkin's second cryogenic lab instantly leapt out at the Dark Knight. "That's the logical next place to search," Batman signaled. "You work on getting out of there while I try to pinpoint the exact location of the second lab from these files." Flash signaled his agreement, then headed back down the corridor to the spot where he had entered the lab, accidentally tripping an alarm in the process. Beep, beep, beep. It's funny how Wally is hitting on / attracted to almost every female he sees, yet when he meets his future wife, at least in the comics, nothing. Yeah, you know, they really did overplay Flash's horniness in these books. And I don't know exactly why. I feel like it might just have something to do with the fact that like he was kind of underdeveloped in the show at this point, and maybe that was like one of the only things that they had to go off of. But who knows? Hey, Rapid Boy Fortnite, if you're in the chat, thanks for subscribing. Just got that notification. An intruder defense system activated, setting off an ear-splitting alert. Thick panels of metal slid from the ceiling, dropping down along all the walls, sealing the lab shut. "They know I'm here!" Flash shouted into the comlink, no longer concerned about being heard. "And I'm trapped!" Alright, chapter fucking 9. I'm really hoping that we get more of the political subtext, because that's really been the fun part of this book. And when I say subtext, I mean like the fucking text, right? We had "Make Russia Great Again" last time, for God's sake. I'm thinking that might happen with with Chapter 9, but who's to say? I feel like there was one thing that like I needed to note, but I don't remember. I guess just for the sake of my sanity, when I go back to look for it again, I should probably just say, hey, Barry Allen was in this chapter 2. Oh wait, hold on. I gotta move these down. I think someone mentioned this earlier in the book, but I don't think in the show that Flash was able to move through walls like that until like Justice League Unlimited. I could be remembering wrong, but I do at least want to note that just in case. Flash can move his individual molecules through walls. There you go, Andrew. You got both of the things I was thinking about. Yeah, I'm getting both of those in. All right. Now, where was Chapter 9? There it is. Show yourself, intruder! Red Fury blustered as he and Beacon raced into the lab's main room. I don't know how you got in, but there is no way out! Flash continued circling the steel-encased perimeter of the lab at top speed, still unseen by Red Fury or Beacon. If he was able to move through the walls to get in, like, why can't he do the same to get out? He was certain, having successfully vibrated through the rock, that he could do the same with the metal panels. Okay, so he's gonna try it at least. However, he didn't think that his adversaries would give him the opportunity to prepare himself for the task, which required him to be stationary and also took tremendous concentration. Okay, that's fair. Thank you for answering my question, book. Flash filled his teammates in on the situation in the lab. If I stop long enough to get myself ready to vibrate back out of here, I'll be an easy target for one of Beacon's power blasts, he explained. So I'm open to any suggestions, gang. Working on it, Batman replied in the Batcave. The Dark Knight continued searching the files he had received earlier. Who wants a full-on Barry Allen DCAU scenes? I'd be down for some Barry Allen stuff in the DCAU. It'd be interesting to see how they could work that in. At that moment, Sanu stirred, then sat upright. She felt her strength returning and quickly noticed the steel plates that now covered the lab's walls. What's going on? She asked, lifting herself off the table and standing. She glanced over at the still unconscious form of Grey Heron. Intruder, Beacon explained. One, however, that we can't see. Oh, great, Flash thought as he kept running. Now another one's awake, which means if I stop, it's 3 against 1. Flash, I've got something, came the message from Batman. I found the computer codes that will raise the metal plates and open the doors, but you're going to have to stop long enough to punch the codes in manually. Thanks, Bats, Flash replied. Send them along. I'll take it from here. Flash saw a blinking light on his comlink and knew that Batman was transmitting the necessary codes he would need to make his escape. Got him, he acknowledged. Now I just need a little diversion. As he reached the back of the lab's main area for the fourth time that second, Flash overturned the 2 lab tables farthest from the control room. To the members of Red Dawn, the tables seemed to spin into the air under their own power, then crashed to the floor with a chiming metallic clang. There! Red Fury shouted. The intruder has revealed himself! Red Fury flew swiftly toward the back of the main room, followed by Sanu and Beacon. Flash reached the computer in the empty control room and stopped suddenly. Just need a second or two, he thought, quickly punching a code sequence into the keyboard. The steel plates surrounding the lab suddenly slipped up into the ceiling, and the 3 members of Red Dawn spun around, looking into the control room. There he is! Sanu cried, pointing as they raced toward the intruder. One of the Justice League members we battled at the monument has somehow found his way here! I would like to see a Barry Allen that's just Barry, non-powered uncle. Would be nice to see him as a grandfather to a DCAU impulse in the Beyond Time. I could get behind that. And now, ladies and gentlemen, if I may be so bold, Flash quipped, he's going to find his way back out. Zat crash! Beacon fired a blast of energy from his yellow gemstone. The searing beam traveled the length of the main room, shattering the thick double glass window. The impact slammed Flash into the far wall. He dropped to the floor as shards of glass rained down on him. Struggling to his feet, he stumbled back to the keyboard and punched in the second code. A section of the rock wall slid open, revealing daylight. Then he hurried to the doorway just as Red Fury landed in the opening. You'll have to get past me first! Red Fury boasted, hands on hips, legs spread wide. He braced himself, anticipating an attempt by the Flash to ram his way past. Flash put on a burst of speed, and just as he reached the imposing figure in the doorway, he squatted and dove through Red Fury's open legs, somersaulting onto the rocky ledge just outside the opening. The Scarlet Speedster rolled to his feet. Thanks, he said as Red Fury turned in shock. It's been great! I haven't had so much fun since my last root canal! Rather see Eobard than Barry? That's... Why not both? Give them both. Also, hey Amy, how's it going? Let's see. As Flash zoomed away, he spoke into the comlink. I made it out of there, he reported. I've managed to narrow down the search area for the second lab based on Pushkin's files, Batman replied. It should be along the main mountain road, probably within about 5 miles of the first lab. Set your scanner to pick up any kind of technology. That should help you pinpoint the exact location. So wait, this went from a DNA scanner to now it's a technology scanner? I don't think that checks out. I'll let you know when I find it, Flash said. Then he switched off the comlink and began his search. It'd be interesting to mix and match Wally with Earbird instead of Hunter Zolomon. I don't know enough about Flash. I don't even know what a Hunter Zolomon is. I've heard the name. I'm gonna look it up. Hunter Zolomon. Oh, okay, he's another reverse. Got it. I get it. Okay, that makes sense. Wait, is who your dad? Hello, Elijah. I am the father that went out for smokes and never came back. Blaze streaked along the the winding narrow road that led through the mountains. On her left, the Urals rose toward the clouds. Glancing to her right, Blaze saw a sheer drop into misty darkness below. Who dat? Cameron Gowden, if you're in the chat, thanks for subscribing. If you're not in the chat, I don't know what to tell you. It would be cool for Jay Garrick, but he will not canon. Oh, he won't? He won't? Then whomst is this? Whomst? Who is he? God, I love how thick the lines are on that. But yeah, no, Jay Garrick shows up in a couple tie-in comics. Though, yeah, it's possible that they're not canon. Or that they won't be able to fit in canon, I should say. Wowie is back! Hey! Now we can really party. You haven't missed too much. Flash got into the secret base, and now everybody knows he was in the secret base. And they want to fight him. There have been zero politics in the last chapter and a half. Well, Jay has that Jay. Yeah, that's what I just pulled up. Earbird 1, that's why we don't ever see Barry and Wally's origin, is a little inconsistent. Reverse Flash removed Barry and rewrote time a little. Womp womp wah. Where was I? Oh shit, Fruity Pebble Creamer? That's a thing? I don't know. Like coffee creamer? This sounds... Oh, I don't know about that. I've just been using almond milk in my coffee as of late, but Fruity Pebble Creamer sounds like a bit much. The Cocoa Pebble Creamer could be good. Oh, look at that. They did it with one of the Flintstones cups from the McDonald's promotion when the movie happened in the 90s. That's cute. Sweeping the small rectangular box back and forth across the face of the mountain, Blaze hoped that the frequency used to gain access to the main cryogenic lab would match that of the second facility. Her mind raced along, moving as fast as her feet. She knew that what her mission was, to search the second lab in the hope that some clue there might lead them to General Kolnikov. Finding the General seemed to be the only hope Red Dawn had of surviving. It was clear to her now that some part of the cryogenic process had been left out during their unexpected awakening, and that this oversight had potentially deadly consequences. Blaze worried about how long it would be before the condition that had struck Red Fury and then Grey Heron would affect her. She felt as if she were a walking time bomb, set to go off at an unknown moment. And there were her growing doubts about all that the others seemed to accept easily. The more she saw of this world, the harder it was for her to believe that the United States could have faked so much history and executed such an all-encompassing propaganda campaign. That's right, the CIA and the FBI don't exist, and the propaganda can't hurt you. American propaganda can't hurt you, my therapist said. I feel like creamer shouldn't be in the name of any kind of digestible product. Oh no. It's interesting how this novel addresses Barry as the prior Flash, but hasn't yet said anything about Wally as having been Kid Flash. Yeah, that's true. Creamer, I hardly know her. Oh no. But yes, the American propaganda can't hurt you. Hold on. I kind of wanna clip that. There we go. Save as propaganda. The American propaganda can't hurt you. Hey, Lunar Wolf Dragon, if you're in here, thanks for subscribing. Same for you, Cameron Godin. Are they gonna make her a capitalist? Maybe. I just looked at my weather thing and it just said alert. Oh no. Stay safe. What if they use Bart from Young Justice in the Kid Flash suit and you should do Young Justice will it canon? Young Justice won't canon. Like, already from the start, the age discrepancy between Batman and Zatanna just throws it out entirely. I would like to do some kind of Young Justice content at some point, but a will it canon is not going to be it. Where were we? Propaganda campaign. Yet she was hesitant to betray Red Fury. Her sense of duty, embedded in her genetic makeup, was still strong. Finally, Blaze's thoughts turned to the Flash. Speeding along the gravelly road, she realized that this was the first time since the battle at Mount Rushmore that she had had a moment to reflect on this strange man who so intrigued her. In the quiet solitude of her high-speed search, images of the crimson-clad hero filled her mind. I'm stuck on this propaganda thing because, like, it's so funny to me that, like, so much of this book is like American exceptionalism propaganda, and this is just Michael Teitelbaum like putting in the text like, nah, that doesn't. No, I believe all of it. I believe all of it. The propaganda doesn't exist. This is the truth. This is how it works. This is this is the way of the world, and I'm gonna keep bringing in Mount Rushmore as a point of American exceptionalism, as if like the fact of like the stolen native land and all of that like doesn't matter because the American propaganda got to him. I can't wait for that interview. God, I gotta figure out a way to like. I don't want to be, like confrontational with it. Like I don't want to like come across as a fucking dickbag. That's like, you know, being an ass to him over, you know, some fucking kids books he wrote 20 years ago. But like, yes, I very much want to have this interview because it's the stuff that he's written in these books is very just out of all of the books we've read on the DCAU book club, outside of like the Mad Love and Rise of Senzu novels that were like geared towards adults, Michael Teitelbaum has been the one author that's really stuck out. All the Batman oral discourse proves is that Selina should have ditched Bruce for Kate a long time ago. Are we even gonna address? Oh, I didn't see someone else brought that up. I actually helped Comic Drake with some ideas for a video that he's doing on this. That I don't know when it's gonna come out, but he called me while I was in the middle of a Discord voice chat, and I had to hop over and be like, hey, yeah, let's help you flesh that out. I think I'd have to side with DC on this one, but then again, I was all anti-Nightwing Harley too, so maybe it's just nah. DC's consistently having heroes in sexual situations, and to say that like him going down on Catwoman is where they should draw the line just doesn't make sense to me. I really do want like a canonical Legion of Doom joke where like they taunt Batman because like Catwoman told them that he won't go down on her. Flesh that out. Phenomenal choice of words. Oh, it was intentional. Did you know, despite getting permission from DC, Tim had problems with using Wonder Woman for JLJLU. Huh. Interesting. But yeah, no, that like that whole thing is just bonkers to me. Like they could have even said that like, hey, like, you know, this is while this show's meant for adults mainly, there's a younger audience and we don't really want to get into the nitty-gritty of that kind of stuff, right? Like they could have said that, but they didn't. Let's see. Yet she was hesitant to betray Red Fury. Her sense of duty embedded in her genetic makeup was still strong. Finally, Blaze's... Oh, I already read that paragraph. She thought about how exhilarating it had felt to engage in an edgy competition with someone who could keep up with her speed. Although her first reaction had been not to trust him, her gut told her something to... It's so funny that, like, Michael Teitelbaum's trying to pair the two speedsters. Because like now that we're talking about the Batman Catwoman oral thing, I'm thinking about the sex life of two speedsters, and like that's gotta be some fucking terrible sex. Like that's gotta just not be fun. Bruce's cowl is literally perfectly designed for who's edging. Exactly. That's also like I got that in my head as well when I read that. But like I just gotta imagine it's not gonna be a fun time for either of them. Although her first reaction had been not to trust him, her gut told her something different. His wise guy wit appealed to her, and trading barbs had been as exciting as their chase around the granite cliffs in South Dakota. Plus, there was something that was just plain fun about the guy. It went against all her training and made her feel a bit guilty, but when she was really being honest with herself, Blaze realized that she liked him. Brip, you know what? Hold on. You know what we're doing? If the book's gonna keep asking us to deal with the speedster love. Let's see. Oh, I gotta go back to the book. And now, let's see if I can put them in. Add a new image. Browse. Where did I just download those two? There we go. I am being overtaken by Blaze. There we go. There's one. Damn, Sonic's fucking big. There we go. There's Blaze in the Flash. Maybe Sonic needs to be a tiny bit smaller. There we go. Beautiful. Yeah, that was more my line of thinking. There have been a lot of situations, but I don't really need to know anything specific. Sounds like Wally's gonna see Blaze's cat. Oh no. DC's really gotta be just thrilled the creators of that Harley Quinn show let this detail leak. Oh, I'm sure that they're just having a lot of fun. Like, here's my biggest thing about it, right? Is that, like, we've been getting, like, all throughout this month, we've been getting, like, we've been getting the Pride variants and like the Pride book and everything. All my DC Pride stuff is out in the other room because I was recording. And so, like, what do they think that they're buying lesbian hero characters do when they are engaging in sexual activities? Like, sure, that's not the only part of it, but, like, that's a large part of it. And so for them to be like, no, heroes don't do that, while they're trying to, like, put give us like all the LGBT representation of their hero characters, it just seems like they have a really fucking big blind spot. I rewatched Hereafter in jail, and I realized that Static Gear and Batgirl weren't at Superman's funeral. Yeah, I know. I know that, like, I feel like they weren't really trying to use a lot of the Static stuff in until, like, they really hit JLU. I don't know. I don't know if there was a reason for that, or if it was just like they you know, just didn't think of it. Not sure why Batgirl wouldn't have been there. Kate's utility belt contains. Oh no. Let's see. Plus, there was something that was just plain fun about the guy. It went against all her training and made her feel a bit guilty, but when she was really being honest with herself, Blaze realized that she liked him. Brip, 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 brip. Blaze's soul-searching was suddenly interrupted by a low chirping from the signal device. She slowed to a halt, then deliberately retraced her last few steps, waving the box. waving the box along the length of the wall she had just passed. Brip, 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 brip. The device beeped loudly now as she moved it back and forth over a small section of rock, punching in the code that was used to open the secret door at the main lab. Blaze held her breath and waited. A few seconds later, a small section of the mountain parted, opening into a narrow doorway. Blaze sighed with relief. I guess Dr. Pushkin saw no need to change the entry code for a second lab, since apparently none of his colleagues even knew it existed, she thought, stepping toward the dark entryway. You just saved me an awful lot of hard work, said a voice from behind her. How can I possibly thank you? Spinning around, Blaze found herself face to face with the Flash. You! She cried, startled at his silent, unexpected arrival, and also a bit embarrassed that she had just been thinking about him. How did you find this place? Long story, Flash replied, and I think we're both short on time, especially you. Blaze stared at him in tight-lipped silence. She realized that the moment had come when she had to make her choice to either fight Flash or work with him to find a solution to Red Dawn's deadly dilemma. I just left the other lab, Flash said, seeing the doubt of confusion on her face. What's going on with your buddies back there? Two of them look as if they weren't even going to make it through the next hour. Is the same thing happening to you? Is that why you're here, searching for answers? Blaze nodded, then turned away. How many times do we have to tell you? The Cold War is over, he said gently, seeing that she was struggling with what to do next. We're not enemies, despite your training and what that gruesome twosome on steroids back there may say. We're on the same side. In fact, as a show of good faith, I'll even tell you why I'm here. Blaze looked right at him. I'm trying to figure out where the general who started Project Red Dawn is, Flash explained. The Justice League believes that maybe he can convince all of you that we're telling the truth. I too seek General Kolnikov, Blaze admitted. Red Dawn thinks he knows what is happening to us and how to stop it. So what do we do, Blaze? Flash said, placing his arms down by his side and jutting out his chin. You want to take your best shot? You want to knock me out and do this alone? Go ahead, I won't stop you. Blaze looked down at the ground and shook her head. No, she said, I don't want to hurt you. That's great news, Flash replied, because I don't want to hurt you either. What do you propose we do? She asked. How about we work together, since we're both looking for the same guy, he suggested. Flash and Blaze, the fastest man and woman alive. Got a nice ring to it, don't you think? I think Blaze and Flash sounds better, she replied, smiling for the first time in a very long while. Hey, who am I to quibble about details? Flash asked. Then he gestured to the open entrance before them. After you. Oh, there it goes. I've been having a sneeze for a while. I have started rewatching the Timmverse, and man, some of the episodes are dark as hell. Oh, for sure. I saw Nocturno. Oh, no. Oh, no. Jutting out his chin, huh? I thought he was going in for a kiss. Yeah, TNBA had some especially dark episodes, like Critters. Oh shit, Jake Johnson in the chat! Everybody say hello to my boy Jake! How's it going, Jake? I hope you're doing well. Where was I? Blaze stepped into the lab, followed closely by Flash. The two walked slowly in total darkness through a series of branching tunnels. You didn't bring a flashlight by any chance, did you? Flash asked as they felt their way along the tunnel walls. You're the guy named Flash, Blaze shot back. Shouldn't you have one? Hey! Flash said as they reached a short, wide tunnel. I make the bad jokes around here. Even Stas has some fucked up episodes. Oh yeah, for sure. Fucking like the Toyman and Parasite origin episodes, both like are some of the darkest shit in the DCAU to me. Like both have really fucking terrifying moments that are like really weird to deal with because they're done like in the fucking sunlight, and it's just like it just makes me uncomfortable. Not great. My grandma broke her. Oh no! I'm sorry to hear that, man. I hope she recovers. That's a bummer. Can't Flash use lightning as a light? I don't know that he's got that power. Hey, back at you, Aiden. Earth Mover and Lost Soul are the darkest Timmverse episodes. Those two are for sure pretty dark as well. Yeah. I make the bad jokes around here. At the end of the tunnel, Blaze's hand ran across a round knob. I found something, she announced. When Blaze pressed the circular switch, lights flared on ahead of them. Flash saw that the short tunnel opened into a small laboratory, set up like a miniature version of the cryogenic lab he had just escaped from. A small control room packed with equipment sat off a tiny central area. A door on the far side resembled the one leading to the cryogenic freezing chamber in the other lab, only smaller. I've got some friends who can help us, Flash said to Blaze, switching on his comlink. Blaze raised her eyebrows in surprise. Batman? Green Lantern? Wonder Woman? Flash spoke into the comlink. You guys still there?
We're here,
Green Lantern replied.
Where are you?
We're in the second lab, Flash reported.
Did you vibrate through the wall again?
Green Lantern asked. Not necessary, Flash said into the comlink. The door was open. We? Wonder Woman asked. Blaze is here with me, Flash said casually. She says hi, he added, winking at her.
Blaze!
Green Lantern shouted. Relax, GL, Flash said. She's on our side now. In fact, she's the one who let me into this place.
Uh-huh.
Green Lantern muttered skeptically.
Is the power to the cryogenic freezing chamber on?
Batman asked. Why would it be on? Unless... Whoa! Flash exclaimed. I get your point. I'll check. Flash raced into the cramped control room, followed by Blaze. Vibrates through the wall? She asked, puzzled. Flash smiled as he searched the control room's console. It's tons of fun, he said. I'll teach you how sometime. A small red light just above the computer's monitor blinked steadily. A label beneath it said, Cryogenics. Looks like it's still working, Flash reported.
It must be on a different power grid than the nuclear reactor at the first lab,
Green Lantern said. Stop me if I'm wrong here, Flash said into his comlink. But this means that someone is alive, frozen in that cryogenic chamber.
Scan the handles on the door to the chamber, see if you can get some prints,
Batman said calmly. I'll see if I can get the computer up and running, Blaze said, sitting down at the control panel. Flash streaked across the lab's central area to the chamber's door. Switching the comlink into its data scan mode, he swept the device across the handle. The scanner beeped, indicating a positive finding of prints.
I read 2 sets of prints,
the Dark Knight said a few seconds later.
I'm checking the KGB files for a match.
Flash zoomed back to the control room. Beyond probably has the darkest episodes overall to me. A lot of Dark Jail episodes too. Yeah, Beyond's got some really fucking dark shit. Communism won, China picked up where Russia left off. I especially love how Stas ends. Oh, for sure. Stas's ending is great. Do I dare make a joke about Blaze grabbing a round knob? Oh no. Oh no, I didn't even catch that, Danny. Oh no. I was gonna make a joke about Flash streaking, but... Oh no. When I was away, I literally heard Jon Stewart. I'm not that good. But I won't stop you from blowing smoke up my ass. Like Legends, Only a Dream, and Hereafter. Oh, for sure. Those are great. Let's see. I've got the computer system up and running, Blaze reported. According to the readings, there's one person in the chamber in perfect cryogenic hibernation.
I've got a match for both prints,
Batman announced over the comlink.
One set is Pushkin's. No surprise there. The other belongs to General Kolnikov.
What? Exclaimed Blaze. Kolnikov? Here?
I can't figure out how or why,
Batman continued.
But it's a good bet the General's in that chamber.
Can you open it? Flash asked Blaze, pulling up the files associated with the freeze chamber. Blaze found a complex code password. Okay, yeah, I thought, for some reason, my recollection was that they shot the General, but I do think that they pushed him into the thing. That makes sense. It's been a couple weeks. Pulling up files associated with the freeze chamber, Blaze found a complex coded password system in place. No, she said bitterly, the chamber can only be opened using a sophisticated series of codes and passwords. Leave it to the Soviets, said Flash. No offense, he added quickly. It could take years to break these codes, Blaze said, sighing.
That won't be necessary,
said a deep voice from the entryway. Flash and Blaze looked up in shock as Red Fury, Sanu, and Beacon stepped into the lab's central area. Bum bum blah! Alright, we're on chapter 10. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a quick little break, run to the restroom, grab another drink, and I will be right back. So y'all, hang tight. I have returned for more Blaze the Cat and Sonic the Hedgehog fan fiction. Let's see. The scientist threw the general in the cryogenic chamber, then decided to crash his car. I suppose it's a good way to not have to write character motivation. True. If any of you guys are up to date on Superman and Lois, anybody else get Strong Gods and Monsters vibes off the main villain in this season? I am not up to date. I haven't watched any of it. I really need to. I need to power through the Arrowverse. I need to just fucking do it. I keep saying I need to do it. I need to just go ahead and do it. And yet, it's just so much. It's a monumental task. Blaze sped to Red Fury's side. Listen, please. She pleaded, speaking rapidly. Did we not have any? We didn't really have anything to note from the last chapter. I think they mentioned South Dakota. Okay, we've got South Dakota already. So I'll just put the chapter and then nothing there. There we go. Oh. How did people feel about the propaganda tweet? Sense of duty embedded in her genetic makeup. True. Wait. Welcome home, Wowie. When you're here, you're family. Or something like that. I forgot that Blaze and Sonic are gonna be there on like every tab that I switch to. I love propaganda. Can't get enough of it. You and me both. Listen, please, she pleaded, speaking rapidly. You're wrong about them. Flash has been helping me. We found General Kolnikov. The Justice League wants to help us overcome our genetic instability.
Yes, Red Fury grumbled. We overheard quite a bit. So, the General is frozen in that chamber. But why would your boyfriend want to help?
Why would your boyfriend want to help? That's right, Red Fury. Why would a boyfriend want to help his girlfriend? Why would you ever want... Yo, here in this chat, we don't help our significant others. We tell them to fucking bootstrap their way up and do an individualism. What's the point of being in a couple if you're just gonna help each other? Like, nah. No help. Sissy, I'm not helping you ever again. She's not responding. Sorry, look, boyfriends don't help their girlfriends. Red Fury says so. He's a communist. I think he knows what he's talking about.
That's fair.
It is fair.
Okay.
Boyfriend, you mean comrade? God damn it, Wowie. No helping your significant others. Heroes don't do that. God. Oh, fuck. I may have smoked a little bit of weed in that quick intermission. He wants to find
He wants to find Kolnikov to gain control of Red Dawn, not to assist us. Don't think I didn't notice you two playing tag at Mount Rushmore, and the recent looks of doubt on your face. You've been staring at the television, watching news reports mournfully, believing every word of propaganda!
Oh, Michael Teitelbaum. Michael Teitelbaum, I've got so many questions. But it's not propaganda, Blaze shouted back. It's the truth! TV makes you fall in love, studies show.
The truth, Red Fury repeated, is that you are a traitor, and you will now pay the price for your treachery.
Red Fury snatched the signal device from Blaze's belt. He entered the control code, and the door to the lab slid shut with a faint grinding sound that drifted down the maze of entryway tunnels.
A very handy tool,
he said, slipping the small black box onto his belt.
In addition to opening the doors, it also contains a homing signal with which we were able to follow you.
Beacon, eliminate them. Oh, that's still him going. There wasn't an ending quotation mark. Oh no, she is a capitalist now. Yo, that's what happens when you get that I can't even call it a good dick. We know Flash is an in and out kind of guy. All us in the chat treat our significant others just like Dawn from Batman Beyond. Wait, hold on, Dawn. Which one was Dawn? Hold on. Oh, this fucking guy. Yeah, his dad. God. Fuck him. Fuck your partners, in the sense of never giving them any sort of support, not sexual intercourse. Batman told me that we're not supposed to do that. She saw his speed demon and was never the same. Well, that's what happens when you go streaking around the lab. I feel like we should, now that Red Fury's here, we should have, is there a Red Fury, Sonic character? Red Fury Sonic the Hedgehog. No, there's just Knuckles. I'm not giving Knuckles to a... That's fine. We don't need a Sonic for him, I guess. Zavok. Oh god, Zavok could work. Oh, do I want to... I don't know where I would put... I don't know where I would put him though. Maybe at the bottom of the page? Add a new source. Add. Browse. Zavik. Oh no, I'm moving the chat box. No, I want to move Zavik. No, let me... Just shrink him down a little bit. There we go. Have his head stick out right at the bottom. Just, what, here? Hold on. We gotta move Blaze down. And then Zavik's gonna... Oh shit, hold on. Maybe if I move Blaze further up the totem pole. There we go. He's coming for her. OMG, it's Romeo and Juliet. That's this story. It is, oh my god. Communist and capitalist Romeo and Juliet. Let's see, pay the price for treachery.
Beacon, eliminate them! Sanu, come with me! It's time to get reacquainted with the general.
Oh shit, hold on. I'm gonna forget that all of this stuff is here next time I come back from a vacation, and we're just gonna start up a new book. Just covered with all this shit. There we go. It's beautiful. It's a fucking masterpiece. Does that make GL Jet the Hawk? I don't know the writer's cast too well. So I don't know if that makes him that or not. Reacquainted with the general. Beacon fired an energy blast. Is there a character named Beacon in Sonic the Hedgehog? Beacon, Sonic the Hedgehog. E11 Beacon. Oh, I'm not gonna find a PNG of this though. That's just a robot. Oh, just thinking of green characters. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get a good PNG. Wait. That's someone's fan art though. I'm gonna skip it. Goodbye, the General and Shaq. Hello, Jose. The remainder of this stream will be brought to you by Lee. There's a Muppet named Beaker. I might go into Muppet territory. What is with the Sonic thing lately? What do you mean, what's with the Sonic thing lately? I've always been a huge Sonic fan. Beacon fired an energy blast from his gemstone right at Blaze. She took off just as the searing jolt of yellow energy struck a lab table, melting it into a puddle of molten slag. Beacon, you've got to listen! Blaze pleaded as she sped around the outside of the room. Our training no longer applies. The world has changed, and we must change too. Beacon looked right at Blaze. You choose to believe him? he asked, pointing at the Flash. Flash ran up behind Beacon.
Listen, pal, he began. You're awfully sure of yourself for a guy who's been asleep for 20 years.
Beacon whirled and fired another blast at Flash. The Scarlet Speedster dodged the energy beam, the streaking yellow bolt exploding against the far wall of the central area, spraying rocks and debris across the tiny room.
You'll never catch us, Beacon, Flash said, zigzagging around the lab. You didn't even see me at the other lab until I stopped. Don't you think I could have done some damage to you back there if I'd wanted to? Doesn't that tell you anything?
Beacon paused to think about what Flash said. Doubt crept into his mind, but his loyalty to Red Fury was fierce, and the thought of turning on his leader was more than he could handle, and so his head exploded. Flash and Blaze kept moving at speeds too fast for Beacon to pin them down. Oh, Jose subscribed. Well, thank you. And Zeke Jameson. I've never been noticed inside a YouTube stream. Well, now you have been. Surprised. Omega would probably be the closest to GL's personality. Perhaps. I'm a man not from the culture. What do you expect, Maddie? I don't expect a lot. Where were we? Oh yeah, the fierce loyalty. Flash and Blaze kept moving at speeds too fast for Beacon to pin them down. Across the central room, Red Fury and Sanu each grabbed one side of the thick steel door that sealed the cryogenic freezing chamber.
Together now,
Red Fury said. With a tremendous outpouring of sheer physical might, the two strongest members of Red Dawn. The two strongest members of Red Dawn yanked the door from its hinges. They took the hinges and they put them in the fuckboy's hands. Looks like I'm making curry tonight. Ooh, curry does sound kind of good. I think we're making stir fry tonight. We got to get through produce before we go on vacation next week. It sprung loose with a wrenching crunch, and they tossed it aside. The massive hunk of twisted metal clanged to the floor, bouncing end over end, finally coming to rest near the control room. Clouds of crystalline mist bellowed from the chamber. Within moments, groaning and stirring could be heard from inside. Then a tall, thin man with red hair and a gray speckled goatee stepped from the chamber. The man's long white lab coat was wrinkled, and he stumbled forward with a dazed look in his eyes.
Dr. Pushkin!
Red Fury exclaimed. But how can this be? Cried Sanu. Hold on, I thought Pushkin died in the car crash and the general was... Did I forget entirely? There's your joke, Amy. I have reinstated it. YouTube's autofilters just be like that. But how can this be? Cried Sanu. At Red Fury's exclamation, Beacon turned toward the chamber. Flash and Blaze stopped running and stared in disbelief. Dr. Pushkin leaned against the side of the chamber door. Holding himself up, he looked pale and tired as he squinted in the lab's bright lights. Where am I? He asked weakly.
Dead, from all the historical reports, replied Red Fury. A car crash, I believe.
Hold on, how? Okay, so he did crash his car. So what the fuck is happening here? Red Fury, Sanu, why have you been revived? Dr. Pushkin asked. Why am I? Oh, yes! Now I remember. We are early in the 21st century, Red Fury explained. Hold on, really quick. Let me... Project Red Dawn was on ice for 20 years, was mentioned once. We are early in the 21st century. There we go. Gotta get them timeline clues. and then insert some rows below. There we go. By all accounts, makes no sense, right? So Doc was just built different. That's what I'm getting here. YouTube do be strict. But I think we'll be fine. What doesn't make sense? The fact that earlier in this book, the doctor drove off the side of the cliff and died in a car crash, and now he's actually in the cryogenic chamber that I'm pretty sure the general was in.
We are early in the 21st century, Red Fury explained. Red Dawn was revived accidentally. But tell us, how did you come to be locked in your own cryogenic chamber?
Dr. Pushkin eased himself into a sitting position on the floor. He was simply too weak to remain standing. When he spoke, it was with a thin, frail voice. I had dreams of gaining control of Red Dawn, he began, the memories pouring back. I planned to take the power away from General Kolnikov. With that in mind, I lured him here immediately after you five were placed into a cryogenic freeze. A struggle ensued, which I lost. Kolnikov overpowered me and shoved me into the chamber. I had programmed it to seal automatically upon entry, and so I was trapped for, what did you say, several decades, it appears? Hold on, okay, so maybe I'm just misremembering, because they later told us that it was the doctor who died in the car crash. Maybe things were flipped and the general died in the car crash, but that's not what I remember. Should we go back? Hold on, I'm on page 135. Should I go back and let's see. No, Dr. Pushkin died in the car crash. What in the fuck is happening? I'm fucking lost right now. Was there a clone? I'm so fucking lost. Hey, thanks for subscribing, RC, if you're in the chat. The doctor was just built different. I keep saying this. Pushkin looked around the lab, his vision blurry. Waves of nausea racked his body, followed by intense pain in all his joints. His face turned bright red, and he began sweating profusely. His plan had failed, and 20 years of his life had just vanished in what felt to him like an instant. That's not how cryogenic freezing is supposed to work. What do you mean he lost 20 years of his life? He just went to the future. I feel like I've lost all understanding of this novel. Read Justice the Clone Wars. When you say you know grammar, do you mean Kelsey Grammer, star of such hit classics as Frasier and X-Men? Where's General Kolnikov? He asked weakly. We were hoping you could tell us, Sanu replied. Blaze raced up to Dr. Pushkin and knelt down beside him. Never mind the general, she said impatiently. Dr. Pushkin can tell us what we need to know. She looked into the doctor's glassy eyes. He groaned and clutched his Okay, so like, one thing that's striking me as really odd here is that like all these dudes have like sworn allegiance to the USSR military, and they just unleashed this doctor who's just like, I said fuck the military, and they're just all cool with it. Nobody's questioned it so far. Oh, so he took a nap. Are censors less strict for streams, as in the videos expletives are censored? I mean, I don't know. I don't know specifically all of the ins and outs of it. But we do censor expletives in the videos, just in case of things. This thing ain't tracking like the mad novelization. I think they're as confused as us now, right? Like, do you think Michael Teitelbaum just kind of forgot and like got to this point in the book and switched it up? She looked into the doctor's glassy eyes. He groaned and clutched his stomach, his face a twisted mask of torment. Dr. Pushkin, she said softly, can you tell us what we need to do in order to stabilize our genetic integrity? Something was left out when we were revived, and we've all been suffering. Pushkin stared up at Blaze with sadness and confusion in his eyes, like a man desperate to say something, but unable to form the words. He mumbled incoherently, then screamed in agony, tumbling over, sprawling onto the floor, writhing in pain. Blaze stood up and watched with the others as Pushkin's face... You know what? Hold on. I just realized. The general's not actually here. God, which one was the general's image? Sonic is image 1. Image 2 is Zavik. Image 3 is the general. General, you're gone. Dr. Robotnik. Oh God! Oh God! Dr. Robotnik said, "Big." Let me see. Can I flip him? There we go. We're gonna have him hang out over here with Sonic. Wait, why is he still on top of Sonic? I want Sonic on top of him. Whatever. Whatever. We'll just shrink him down some more. That way they can coexist. There's only one solution, blow it all up. It's not needed, Maddie, trust me. I'm off to Wikipedia for the wiki to read this summary. I love comic books and comic book themed books because they make sense. Maddie, this is so unnecessary. I know, and that's why I'm doing it. I want to punch a wall. When the imposter is sus, true? Okay, Kyle. Maddie, just finish the page, please. You'll see why. Okay, hold on. Let's finish the page. Pushkin stared up at Blaze with sadness and confusion in his eyes. Then he was writhing in pain. Blaze stood up and watched with the others as Pushkin's face lost its form, his skin dropping away in clumps that splattered onto the floor. His features dripped down his skull like a candle melting. Then his bones snapped audibly, and his blood flowed freely, spreading in a sickly crimson... Jesus fucking Christ! What the fuck?! God, imagine this being animated. Oh my fucking God. It was all over in a few moments. Dr. Pushkin was gone. What in the fuck? Why did they even switch them out? Goodbye, Doctor. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. I'm a little shook right now. His features dripped down his skull like a candle melting. Then his bones snapped audibly, and his blood flowed freely, spreading in a sickly crimson pool. What in the fuck? It was all over in a few moments. Dr. Pushkin was gone. When I started reading that, like, I thought it was gonna, like, his facial features were gonna melt off and, like, reveal the general. And I was thinking, like, oh, okay, I'll just put the general back up. What is happening? Is that the fate that awaits the rest of us? Blaze asked angrily. One by one, we dissolve into a pool of blood, dying a horrible death? Oh my fucking god. Why is... No, get off of my screen, you. Okay, there it goes. Y'all couldn't see it, but something just, like, popped up on the edge of my screen, like the Microsoft notifications thing. It took only moments for his genetic failure to take place. For some reason, we have been given more time, but how much more? Yo, I don't know what the fuck is happening in this book. I need to... What the fuck? Let's animate it. Is this Justice League or Sonic fanfic? Yes. Am I allowed to watch your stream? I feel like that's up to your parents. Please tell this man to write some gore-focused stuff in your interview. I fucking will. Jesus, oh my god. I cannot wait to, like, contact this man. Also, this is very strange because the start of the book 100% told us this man died in a car crash already, and that someone else was locked in the cryo chamber he was just freed from, and I think the author forgot and switched it around. Jesus Christ, man, this is a lot. Hello, unknown user and Uncle Timmy TV. Thanks for subscribing if you're here. This is turning out like the Ultimate. Yeah. This book was for children. The Flash sped to her side.
Which is why we must work together to find the general, he said. He's your last hope. The news report said Pushkin died in a car crash, Red Fury shouted. Perhaps it was Kolnikov who died in that crash, which leaves us with no hope. This is your fault, Justice Leaguer! You awakened us, and you must pay the price for our destruction.
Chaos suddenly broke loose in the tiny lab. Shit. Shit. Which one do I want to use? Fuck it, let's just use this one. God, chaos is huge. Why is everybody so big? There we go. Chaos broke out in the lab. If you drink the puddle, is it vor? Oh no! If this is made for children, then why is it talking about cruel deaths? I don't know. Some days you're the atom, other days you're gigantic. Listen, heroes don't do that, Wowie. Chaos suddenly broke loose in the tiny lab. As Sanu leapt at Flash, he dove out of the way, somersaulting, then quickly regained his feet. Sanu slammed into the opposite wall, shaking the cavern, sending dust and rocks cascading down from the ceiling. Seeing that there would be no reasoning with her teammates, Blaze dashed across the room as Red Fury unleashed twin heat beams from his eyes. They narrowly missed Blaze and instead ignited a control panel. Sparks burst from the equipment, followed by thick white smoke, then orange flames that quickly spread as Blaze continued on her high-speed dash through the lab. As Flash also did his best to stay in constant motion, his comlink beeped. It was Batman signaling him.
Flash, the Dark Knight said. Get me the handle from the door to the cryogenic chamber.
I'm a bit busy here, Bats, Flash replied, speeding out of the way of a searing burst of heat vision from Red Fury.
It's important,
Batman replied sternly. Sure, Flash said. I'll add it to my to-do list. He made another sweep of the lab, keeping an eye on Blaze's situation, while he came up with a plan. Noticing Beacon following his movements, the Scarlet Speedster stopped right in front of the crumpled cryogenic chamber door that rested on the floor in a twisted heap of metal. Beacon spotted Flash and fired a yellow gemstone blast. Not realizing that his teammate was about to attack, Red Fury took advantage of the Flash's standing still and dove at the Scarlet Speedster, tackling him just as Beacon's energy discharge struck the door. Boom! The door shattered to bits from the force of the impact, scattering like shrapnel around the lab. Sanu dove for cover, and Blaze sped delicately out of the way of the flying metal shards. Red Fury's body protected Flash from harm, but he now found himself in the iron grip of Red Dawn's leader. Flash rotated his body, spinning like a high-speed top, as Red Fury brought his massive arms together, attempting to tighten his grip. The force of his squeezing acted as a catapult, firing the rotating Flash from his arms like a whirling crimson spear. Flash stopped spinning and landed on his feet. Then he raced over to the shattered chamber door, reaching down and grabbing the handle as smoke from the damaged control panel grew thicker and flames spread throughout the lab. We've got to get out of here now! He shouted to Blaze. Oh, damn. I saw Blaze's name, and so I wasn't even trying to do a voice, but that's okay. I like hearing cruel deaths. Oh no, that is concern. It's like if Maggie was 9 years old. Flash is a top in the DCAU, confirmed. Fuck, true. We've got to get out of here now! He shouted to Blaze. How do we do that? She asked, ducking swiftly to narrowly avoid a cruising blow from Sanu's powerful fist. Stay close, Flash replied, and follow my lead. The Flash sped down a tunnel, coming to a sudden halt next to the section of wall that had opened to allow them entry into the lab. I sure hope this trick works twice, he thought, As if reading his mind, Beacon shot another energy blast toward Flash, who dashed away just as the beam tore a huge hole in the wall, exposing the darkening sky outside. "Let's go!" Flash shouted, turning around in time to see Blaze collapse. Pressing hard on his heels to execute a sudden stop, the Scarlet Speedster shifted direction and swept back toward Blaze, catching her unconscious form just before it hit the ground. Changing directions again, Flash sped through the newly blasted hole, racing away from the lab at top speed, clutching Blaze firmly in his arms. Why didn't Flash try to vibrate himself free? I feel like that was part of what he was trying to do, but I'm not sure. In the DCAU, Flash is a bottom, though, confirmed in Flashpoint. Fair. Changing firmly in his arms. Okay, got it. "You did that intentionally," Sanu railed, turning on Beacon, shouting in his face and pointing an accusing finger. "You allowed him to use your power for his own purposes. You might as well leave with him, traitor." Beacon looked out through the hole in the wall and for a moment considered joining Flash and Blaze. Then his face suddenly turned bright red and he began to sweat as he fell toward the floor. Red Fury stepped up and caught his yellow-clad teammate.
Enough!
Shouted Red Fury, hoisting Beacon on his shoulder.
"We must leave here while we still can, before fire consumes the entire facility, or we all collapse like Blaze and Beacon."
Red Fury led the way out through the hole, carrying Beacon over his shoulder, holding him securely with one hand, his other arm wrapped firmly around Sanu's waist. He took to the air, flying back toward the main lab. Below, a loud explosion rocked the mountainside. Looking back, Red Fury saw smoke and flames pour from the ruins of what had once been Dr. Pushkin's secret lab.
"Time grows short," Red Fury said. "I'm no longer certain of Beacon's loyalty either. But if the General is not found soon, it will not matter. We'll all suffer the same fate as Dr. Pushkin."
"But how can we possibly find him now?" Sanu asked.
"I took the liberty of planting a tiny homing device onto Flash's costume when I tackled him earlier," Red Fury explained. "We will let him lead us to the General."
Chapter 11. I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick. I will be right back. I'm back! And so is Sonic and Chaos and Blaze and Zavik. I love whenever a character yells enough, everybody stops talking and listens to them. Like, what? Yeah. Right? I thought the general died in the car crash. What is happening? I'm so confused! Like, the only thing I can think of is that, like, there's a third lab and Dr. Pushkin got removed from the car crash and put into cryostasis by a third party? But, like, we've got 2 chapters left. I don't think that's enough to build on that idea. So who's to say? But fuck it. Here we go. Flash sped through the Ural Mountains, retracing the 500-mile trip back to the spot where he had left the Javelin 7. He hurried, each foot barely touching the ground before the other thrust it forward. They're gonna die, probably. Carrying Blaze, his concern for her grew with each step. As he ran, he contacted Batman and the others, quickly filling them in on the events in the second lab, including the strange death of Dr. Pushkin and Blaze's current condition. "I got that door handle for you, Batman," Flash reported as he approached the waiting space shuttle. "But Blaze is sick. We're heading back to the Watchtower. I hope you've got some good ideas about what to do next."
"Get up here as fast as you can," Batman replied. "Contact me when you arrive."
Wait, I just realized my chair sunk down. Who wants Wally West Flashpoint Paradox? I know I do. So, I've brought this up before, but I don't really know that I'm supposed to be sharing it. At least in the case that I am, I was definitely asked not to reveal who the source was. But apparently, early in the production of Flashpoint, it was very possible that it was going to be a DCAU movie, and that they were going to use the DCAU models at the start and have the Flashpoint as a justification of ending that world and starting a new world. But they didn't end up doing that. Why would Cryosleep do this? What's going on? Please tell me. Oh God, there are Russian communist sleeper agents who were genetically created into being metahumans who died, like went on ice in the 70s and came back in the early 2000s, and they think the capitalists have destroyed Russia and propaganda is happening everywhere. But propaganda is not real, and Mount Rushmore is good, and now they want to kill the Justice League, and they found a doctor, and the doctor died a bloody death. See, I've never seen Flash make Batman smile. I feel like I remember hearing that too. Possibly. I know. Like Jay Oliva has said that it has said on Twitter that it's a DCAU movie, and that kind of prompted the conversation that I ended up having with someone else who was in the room, who decided to explain why that may be the case and what they were referring to. Cryosleep pulled a prank on him. I do not approve of Red Fury. Maddie, you're going to have to interview Title Bomb just to understand this. Yes, I mean, pretty much. I missed the last few sessions. Why are the Sonic characters on the page? Well, because Sonic is Flash, and Blaze is Blaze, and Zavik is Red Fury, and all of a sudden Chaos started. So we have Chaos. Just a usual DC comic story then, I guess. Where was I? Reaching the shuttle, Flash swiftly but gently placed Blaze into the co-pilot seat. Dropping the seat back down, he strapped her in for the short ride up to the Watchtower. As he looked down at her pale, haggard face, Flash realized how much he actually wasn't horny for her. No, Flash realized how much she had come to mean to him in so short a time. He felt a strong connection to this fellow speed merchant who, if... Hold on! A speed merchant is a drug dealer, right? Like... That's not what that means. That's not what that means at all. I'm now canonizing Flash and Blaze as drug dealers. Flash and Blaze are drug dealers, and you cannot tell me that they're not. Now it all makes sense. Absolutely, they're all on drug. He felt a strong connection to this fellow speed merchant who, if not for the nuclear accident, might have remained in hibernation forever. He could not bear the thought of losing her now. Firing up the Javelin 7's main engine, he blasted the shuttle into space. How the fuck did the author just not realize it? The author doesn't realize a lot of things. And it's kind of funny. Well, I gotta go. See you Saturday. All right, take it easy, Chris. We'll see you then for the wrap up of Hush Beyond. But yeah, the author doesn't realize a lot of things. Like he's put in the text that like he doesn't believe that like America has the capability of having a huge arm of propaganda, which like just is not the case. Cocaine and drinking with true. I see the Montero reference. During the trip, Flash noticed the color slowly returning to Blaze's face. She stirred, then her eyes fluttered open. "Welcome back," he said, smiling. "You're aboard Justice League Airlines, flight number 5. We're better than Lex Air. Your beverage service will be along any minute." "What happened?" Blaze asked softly, feeling her strength start to return. "I remember a fire, and the next thing I knew, well, oh, wait, no, there is an I. I thought that was my fucking mouse pointer for a second. The spacing is so weird in this scan. Here I am." "Your pal Beacon blasted a hole in the door," Flash exclaimed. "Of course, he was aiming at me, but I think he may have chosen to help us out. With Grey Heron still out of it, I get the feeling that only Red Fury and Sanu are still holding on to their old Cold War issues. All that hardly seems to matter anymore, since it appears that if we don't get help for them soon, they're going to end up as small puddles of goo, like Pushkin back there." Yeah, small puddles of goo. That's what happened. That's not underselling the situation, Flash. Flash is telling this woman, "Hey, you're gonna die!" As soon as he had said it, Flash realized that he'd made a mistake. Blaze grew tight-lipped and looked away. "Nice going, Einstein," he berated himself. "Blaze has just as much chance to end up as a big glob of genetic mush as any of the rest of them. Great show of compassion. Maybe you should have gone into nursing." His mind spun in 10 directions at once, all of them focusing on just how stupid he felt about the remark. "We're going to help you," he finally said, breaking the uncomfortable silence. "I'm not going to let you become a small puddle of goo," she repeated, looking back at him. "Your confidence is overwhelming." The rest of the trip passed in silence. A great job casually joking about someone's horrible death, you piece of shit, right? And here I am. I stretched out the runtime of the eye. Hey, Retro84 and Vanessa Medina, if you're in the chat, thanks for the subs on YouTube. I doubt they can. They'll save her. There's a reason she becomes a main character in Justice League Unlimited, right? After docking, Amy, make the joke, Flash and Blaze raced to the Watchtower's main observation deck, where they joined Green Lantern and Wonder Woman. "You all know Blaze, I believe," Flash said, meeting the skeptical looks of his teammates with a shrug of his shoulders. "But we're in a bit of a hurry now, so we can save the formal introductions for later."
"You got that door handle?"
Green Lantern asked. "Right here," Flash replied, handing it over. Green Lantern placed the jagged piece of metal into a scanning bay that was attached to the Watchtower's DNA satellite uplink. This sophisticated piece of equipment, designed by Batman, took DNA samples and created 3D digital models of their genetic sequences. Blaze looked around at the Justice League headquarters and immediately felt uncomfortable. Despite having decided to work with Flash and having come to the realization that Red Fury was wrong to cling to his old training, she still felt strange standing on the observation deck of the headquarters of her former enemies. She gazed out the long, curved window, looking down at the blue-green globe of Earth suspended in the velvet blackness of space. "You appear to have recovered, Blaze," Wonder Woman said, gently sensing her unease. Seriously, what was the big space between words? It's been like that this whole book. I don't really know why it's doing that. It's a very weird scan, but this is like official through like Amazon's Kindle program. So, who am I to question it? Blaze is a comrade. She doesn't need any help. True. They're docking. Yo, Blaze has been trans rep this whole time. If there's an animated adaptation of this, they should animate the entire trip as a single unbreaking shot, silence included. I'd be down. Wow, this feels like a Thunderbirds episode, only without the puppets and the explosions. I wanted to get into Thunderbirds as a kid, but I never did. So I'll just take your word for it. Blaze looked around at the Justice League's headquarters and immediately felt uncomfortable. Oh, I read that. You appear to have recovered. There we go. Yes, Blaze replied. Thank you. It appears that the initial effects of our condition are temporary. My strength has returned for now, but I fear the results of future incidents. Lights flashed on the scanning bay.
You getting this, Batman?
The Green Lantern asked as digital models of the DNA samples from the door handle were transmitted down to Earth.
I'm getting it,
Batman replied.
Deep, deep, deep.
I don't think that that's Batman saying deep, but I could not resist. Because, you know, Batman's getting it. What if the reason that Batman doesn't go down is because he's actually gay? That's the true reason. That's why heroes don't do that. Deep.
That's it,
Green Lantern said at the sound of a signal from the scanner.
the DNA analysis and transmission is complete.
Got it, Batman replied. On a large monitor in the Batcave, Batman watched as two computer-generated images appeared. Each digital model showed a twisting ladder of genetic information unique to one human being. The rope-like strands of DNA sat side by side on the screen.
There are definitely two individuals here,
Batman reported.
They've got to be Pushkin and Kolnikov. I'll search for both.
With the Bat computer already tied into the Watchtower's main system, Batman was easily able... What are they doing? What does recreating the DNA sequencing off of a fingerprint do for them? What does it... Really want a Static Shock Boondocks crossover? That could be interesting. With the Bat computer already tied into the Watchtower's main system, Batman was easily able to operate the satellite uplink in order to search the Earth for matching DNA.
The first one's come up negative.
Hold on, they're matching... They have satellites that can just find DNA? What is... I don't think Michael Teitelbaum knows science. It's just a guess.
The first one's come up negative,
The Dark Knight reported after a few minutes.
That must be Pushkin,
Green Lantern concluded.
From the description of his death, I'd guess that his DNA got pretty scrambled. What about the next one?
Blaze let out a sharp cry of pain, then stumbled backward. She fell toward Wonder Woman, who caught her and eased her gently to the floor. Blaze! Flash cried, racing to her side and kneeling down next to her. Sweat dripped from her crimson face. Her eyes closed and her breathing grew shallow. Fear washed over Flash, mixed with guilt over his puddle of goo remark. His mind jumped to an image of Blaze reduced to a mass of genetic liquid. He fought to clear the picture from his mind as he felt hope drain away.
Get her to a bio table, Green Lantern shouted. We'll monitor her life signs from here. Batman, how are you doing on that second scan? Working on it, Batman replied evenly. Flash lifted Blaze off the floor, cradling her gently in his arms. Dashing to the Watchtower's medical lab, he placed her unconscious form onto a bed that was hooked up to a bank of readouts above. The readings sprung to life as soon as Blaze's body touched the bed. Her heart beat slowly as her temperature rose. Her pulse was weak, and her blood pressure dropped steadily. Though he was no doctor, Flash knew that these readings meant Blaze was dying. He took Blaze's hand into his own. Grabbing a nearby washcloth, he dabbed at her forehead, mopping up sweat, which reappeared as soon as he removed the cloth. He was going to lose her. He felt certain of that, and he felt helpless. This was one situation he couldn't joke his way out of. If only he had been smarter. If only he had been faster. If only maybe they hit up fucking Mr. Freeze and said, hey, can you do something about this? Maybe put them back in cryo state. Why are they looking for the general and fucking the doctor when Batman knows a cryogenics expert? Why don't they use that all the time when the Legion of Doom is hiding in JLU Season 3? Why don't they just use Lex's DNA to track him down? Victor Freeze is right there. What are we on? Chapter 11? Bro, they got a fucking DNA DNA matching satellite? I don't what the fuck is this? Like, the DNA scanner already really fucking hit me weird, and I was just like, not a fan of that. But they have a fucking satellite that does it. Why did they even give Flash the scanner instead of just being like, hey, satellite? It's like Google, but unethical. He was going to lose her. He felt certain of that, and he felt helpless. This was one situation he couldn't joke his way out of. If only he had been smarter. If only he had been faster. Flash felt a hand on his shoulder. Its firm but gentle grasp startled him slightly, but he knew who it was without even turning around. Hey, Princess, he said, forcing a smile. She looks pretty bad. Do not despair, my friend, Green Lantern said
softly. No, Wonder Woman said softly. I've mentally checked it. You and me both. The DNA satellite sounds like something the author made up on the spot to shorten the story. Yeah. Do not despair, my friend, Wonder Woman said softly. There is still hope. Thanks, Diana, Flash said, looking up at the Amazon princess, realizing what a valuable friend she had become. The MedLab's comm system beeped, sending Flash speeding into to a small speaker mounted on the wall. Talk to me, Flash said in the intercom.
Batman's found a match on the second DNA sample, Green Lantern reported. He's traced it to a tiny island in the Pacific Ocean. It looks like the General is alive.
The Flash's spirits soared, his hopes renewed.
Meet me at the Javelin 7, Green Lantern said. We're going to pay the General a little visit.
I can't leave Blaze, Flash replied, feeling reluctant to step away from her side.
Flash, you can't help her here, Green Lantern shot back. Finding Kolnikov is our only hope of saving her. She needs you, buddy.
Go, Wonder Woman said, smiling. I'll stay with her. If her conditions change, I will contact you, I promise. Flash looked at Blaze. Her body trembled slightly. Her face remained flushed.
We're wasting time, folks,
Green Lantern shouted. I'm on my way, Flash replied. Then turning to Wonder Woman, he added, Thanks, Diana. I won't forget this. As he sped from the med lab, Flash paused for a fraction of a second to plant an unseen kiss on Blaze's cheek. Bro, you can't kiss people while they are unconscious. Don't do it. I really wish it were John. I would love Flash to call John Princess. Maddie, you need to spell I cup. Make the wishes of a boy a reality. E-Y-E-C-U-P. Read all of Wendy's dialogue in GL's voice from now on. I might.
Go, Wonder Woman said, smiling. I'll stay with her. If her condition changes, I will contact you. I promise.
Like that. Chapter 12. We're on the last chapter. The General is alive in the Pacific Ocean. Okay. This is the final chapter, and then we have the epilogue. Alexei Kolnikov stepped out onto the back deck of his one-story house, holding a cold glass of lemonade firmly in his left hand. He looked out at the ocean, lapping gently at the powdery white sand. A warm breeze tousled his few remaining strands of gray hair. The afternoon sun beat down on the small island nestled in the Pacific Ocean. Rows of tall palm trees lined the house, extending toward the sea. The house itself sat in the shadow. I found you, faker. No, wait, that's Sonic's lines. I found you, faker. Fake? You're comparing yourself to me? You're not even good enough to be my fake. I'll make you eat those words. I know it doesn't have to do with the story, but I wanted to share it. I just drew Thomas Wayne Batman like Batman from B-Test, and I'm really proud of it. Hell yeah. That's dope. Oh shit, I do gotta bring back the General, don't I? God damn it. Hey James, how's it going? We're making our way through the end of this book. And it's been one hell of a ride. There we go. I'm back. I am back. All right, we got to put the general in here now. That's what I was trying to do, and it said, hey, fuck you. Browse. General. General gets to hang out with Sonic and Chaos. James was asking if I finished the book, but no, I haven't finished the book. The stream dropped. Question: how did Maddie get the time to read 6 entire chapters in one stream? It's called being unemployed, other than doing Watchtower database stuff. And my college schedule is lightened up since I'm graduating tomorrow. So I found the time. But let's see, where were we? Where did the book go? There it is. There it is. Y'all ready for chapter 12? Y'all ready to fucking put an end to this nonsense? Let's fucking get it. Alexei Kolnikov stepped out onto the back deck of his one-story house, holding a cold glass of lemonade firmly in his left hand. He looked out at the ocean, lapping gently at the powdery white sand. A warm breeze tousled his few remaining strands of gray hair. The afternoon sun beat down on the small island nestled in the Pacific Ocean. Rows of tall palm trees lined the house, extending toward the sea. The house itself sat in the shadow of a long dormant volcano that rose from the center of the island, then trailed away down a series of smaller mountain peaks. Lush gardens filled with exotic flowers and trees and huge bountiful vegetables surrounded the house. Kolnikov had planted these gardens himself. They reminded him of the beautiful formal gardens at his home back in Russia. From time to time, he missed them terribly. Digging in the dirt, however, helping to create natural beauty with his own hands, eased the longing he sometimes felt for his former country. Settling into a chase lounge, Kolnikov switched on his notebook computer and waited for his wireless internet connection to kick in, so he could check the day's news. Not that he was in any hurry. There was nowhere he had to go, and no place he preferred to be more than this comfortable chase on the deck of his home on this remote island. As he waited for the connection to go through, Kolnikov once again thought back on the past 20 years of his life. He felt lucky and satisfied with the choices he had made, and he smiled at the thought of his former life as a top-ranking general in the former Soviet Union. Life here sometimes got lonely, but even at its worst, it was vastly preferable to the high-pressured, paranoid cutthroat and often deadly existence he had left behind. These days, he tended his gardens and read a lot. He was, for the most part, a happy man. His thoughts drifted back to his struggle with Dr. Pushkin and how he had overcome the scientist, shoving him into the cryogenic chamber. That's not what happened! That's not what this book has said! Yes, I am graduating tomorrow. The threat of communism never ends, Maddie. The fight lives on in our hearts until the end of time, and so does this book. So true. God. Oi, oi, oi. Where were we? Oh, yeah. The stuff that didn't happen. Like, are they trying to tell us that, like, maybe the early, like, the prologue was, like, a news report or something? Because, like, it wasn't a falsified news report. It was just events happening. Let's see. He flashed back on the slippery car ride away from the secret lab, driving Pushkin's car, which had then skidded off the road as he leapt to safety. He recalled landing on the snow-covered road, then watching the car tumble off the cliff, exploding in a fireball below. That's not what happened! This isn't how books work! Kolnikov laughed softly to himself, recalling how the newspapers had reported Pushkin's death, assuming that his body had been reduced to ashes among the charred remains of his car. And then, of course, he relived he relived once more the event that had changed and most probably saved his life. After his encounter with Dr. Pushkin and his near-death experience on the road, he had begun to question his own commitment to the Soviets. To put so much into a project only to be betrayed by his closest associate had left him doubting his own motives and whether he could even truly be a staunch nationalist again. So is this book a tie-in to the show, or will this be a secret, true ending to JLU? It is a tie-in to the show, but like it's kind of all over the place. Leapt to safety, yeah. You know, General Kolnikov. He just be leaping to safety out of cars he wasn't even in. It's funny that like the idea here is nationalism bad, but like Michael Teitelbaum has been doing a nationalism all throughout this book. Again, he was built different. No, the Doctor was built different. They're not interchangeable, Wowie. Despite what the book may lead you to believe. Oh wait, Amy figured it out. I'm waiting, Amy. You figured it out. What is it? He is also built different. No, they can't both be built different because then they built similar. Think, Wowie! Think! Did someone different write the last chapter? No, this is all the same person. Then, not long after the incident in the cryogenic chamber, the extremely lucrative offer had arrived from a US biotech firm willing to pay big bucks for secret Soviet genetic technology, which, of course, he had complete access to. God! The mention of Barry at the beginning, it was reference to the fact that Barry did Flashpoint, so the original chapters are pre-Flashpoint and the rest is after. Oh my fucking god. That could work. They are both built different in very distinct ways. Are you happy now? I will never be happy until I get the Soviet genetic technology for my US biotech startup. Kolnikov had taken the money, sold out his country, and vanished without a word, retiring to this tiny island paradise where he had spent the last 2 decades in hiding, enjoying his life and marveling at the changes in the world. Occasionally, but not too often, he thought about how different his life might have turned out had he turned down that offer. Mostly, he abandoned those thoughts, allowing them to drift away on the warm Pacific breezes. A dull roar caught Kolnikov's attention, bringing his thoughts back to the present. The sound was faint at first, growing louder. Then a sleek silver aircraft came into view. It was not unusual for planes to fly above the island. At least 15 flights a day carrying tourists from California to Hawaii zoomed overhead. He had long ago learned to ignore them, not even hearing most of the air traffic that passed by at 35,000 feet. But this was different. The craft, which resembled a US space shuttle more than any commercial jetliner, was flying much lower than the usual air traffic. Placing his notebook down on the desk, Kolnikov rose from his chase, following the aircraft's descent toward the island's single grass airstrip, where his private jet was kept. The plane dropped from his view behind a line of palm trees. He could hear the craft's landing gear scrape against the ground and the whine of its engine soften, then go silent. Sighing, he calmly returned to his chase and sipped his drink. Apparently, his years of solitude and privacy were about to come to an end. Okay, real quick, in here, we got mention of California and Hawaii. Also, do y'all think that the fucking US biotech company that he sold the stuff to was like Cadmus related? Maybe that's why it's similar to Ultimin. It could be worse, Maddie. At least you're not reading Draco by Ian Watson from Warhammer 40k. That book is not good. I've never really been into Warhammer, so I'll take your word for it. Imagine Bruce Timm's reaction to this script. Not sure this would have made it to an episode. I think that it said at the start of this book that, like, I think the plot outline came from someone who was a Justice League series writer. I saw Sonic characters and clicked, what the fuck is happening? Okay, so from top to bottom, on the left side, we have Zavok, who is Red Fury. We have Blaze, who is Blaze. We have Shadow, who is literally a shadow. We have Sonic, who is Flash. We have Chaos, who is the chaos that broke out earlier. And we have General Kolnikov. I hope that answers all of your questions. Batman Long Halloween is next week. Oh, true. Stoked for it. Obviously it was Tesla. Oh, no. No, because that would require the author to think. Imagine if this turned out to be a Dan Reba script. Hold on. Should I go back to the start and see what the I'm on page 154. Let's go all the way back to the start. Oh, no. All the way back to the start, I said. Prologue. Special thanks to Keith Dameron for the idea that set this novel in motion. Rich Fogel for his contributions to the tale. So this is a Rich Fogel and Keith Dameron story. Keith Dameron, what did he write? He is a writer for Justice League. Okay, Keith Dameron, DCAU. Keith Dameron wrote A Night of Shadows and Hearts and Minds. So the Eclipso episode that nobody likes and the Harv Hickman episode. Okay, I can see it. And then Rich Fogel contributed. So that's the Keith Dameron part I feel like makes sense. God, I want to ask Rich like how much he contributed to this. August 12th is season 3 of Titans. There's a teaser trailer now. Yeah, I meant to watch that earlier, but I haven't had the chance yet. Wait. Rich Fogel came up with the parts that didn't suck. Have there been parts? Rich Fogel probably like explicitly wrote the doctor's death scene. People don't like the Eclipso episode. I remember it being perfectly decent. It's been years since I've watched it, but like I remember there being like was it Eclipso? Is that who I'm thinking of? No, not Eclipso. God, what is his name? Despero! That's the one. Different O guy. Anyway, the Javelin 7 touched down, bouncing and shaking as it rolled to a stop on the narrow grass airstrip. The space-worthy vessel had not originally been designed to land on tiny, uneven runways such as this. But the Justice League used the sophisticated craft much like pilots flying small two-seater airplanes, landing the shuttle on rocky, rutted airstrips around the world. Before the ship had come to a full stop, Flash had the cockpit canopy open and was scrambling out of the craft. Green Lantern followed. "Okay, we're here," Flash said impatiently. "We know he's on this island. Now how do we find this guy?"
I'll do an aerial surveillance. You cover the ground on foot,"
Green Lantern suggested.
"Stay in touch via comlink."
"Let's go!" Flash replied, dashing off in a scarlet streak, and then all of a sudden fucking Sonic music starts playing. Just a bombastic bass. Rolling around at the speed of sound. Well, Rich Fogel has cranked out a lot of bangers. He's entitled one Red Justice. I mean, I gotta imagine that, like, he was probably consulted, but probably didn't have a lot to do with this. It's probably just a reference or something to him. I want an O-Guy team up. That would be funny. Let's do it. Eclipso, Despero, Bizarro. Danny, maybe you just like bad shit. You like Kevin Smith movies. Hold on, if the general keeps his private jet on the strip that they acknowledge is small, where's the space for the Javelin? Outer space. Green Lantern extended a green force field around himself, then sped into the air. A quick flight around the small island revealed only a handful of houses. In a secluded spot surrounded by trees, Green Lantern spotted a thin, mostly bald man stretched out on a chase lounge on a deck. Aiming his datacom link toward the figure, he executed a quick DNA scan. It came up positive.
Found him, hotshot.
The Emerald Warrior reported over his comm link, transmitting the general's location to his partner. And by partner, they mean Green Lantern and the Flash. Fuck. Call the team up Battle of the Big O's. I'm down. Sucks to suck, I guess. It really does. Metallo. Ooh, there we go. There's another one. I thought the general was on a local plane. Suddenly snakes show up out of nowhere. I'm down for that.
Meet me at those coordinates.
Then he swooped down from the sky, an emerald streak landing on the deck of beside the horizontal figure. A few seconds later, Flash zoomed up beside him.
General Kolnikov?
Green Lantern asked. My, the man replied, standing up. No one has addressed me by my rank in many years, but yes, I am Alexei Kolnikov, and at one time, about 1,000,000 years ago, I did answer to General. I certainly don't need to ask who you two are. Despite my isolation on this island, thanks to modern technology, I'm quite abreast of world events. I recognize Green Lantern in the Flash of the world-famous Justice League. And now the obvious question, why are you here, and how on earth did you find me? But I'm being rude. A glass of lemonade? I just mixed up a fresh pitcher.
No thanks, General.
Green Lantern replied. We've got a problem. Ooh, Starro. Yeah, there's another one. They should have just used the private jet to find him instead of the stupid fucking DNA scanner. Metallo is the DCAU's Wump character. He might not get too far. With everybody else having his back, he'll get close enough to Superman to get punched again for the sake of a t-shirt. As the Flash paced back and forth nervously, Green Lantern quickly filled Kolnikov in on their current situation, including the grim death of Dr. Pushkin. I was quite amused when I read about Red Dawn awakening after all these years, and about all the fuss they are causing at the World Assembly, Kolnikov revealed when Green Lantern had finished his tale. They must have been quite surprised to find out that there is no more Cold War to fight.
Some of them still don't believe the Cold War ever ended,
Green Lantern explained.
We were hoping to find you so that you could explain it to them. But now we have a more pressing problem. Do you know why the genetic integrity of Red Dawn is being compromised?
More important, Flash jumped in. Do you know how to fix the problem? He had practically exploded from impatience while Green Lantern told his tale. Kolnikov sat back and searched his mind. It was all so long ago, he said. But I do remember Pushkin saying something about maintaining the integrity of their genetic structures.
General Kolnikov!
A voice boomed from above. The three men on the deck looked up to see Red Fury carrying Sanu. The two landed beside Kolnikov. It appears that everyone has found me, Kolnikov said. Red Fury, Sanu, it's good to see you. I have heard of your awakening and your current troubles.
Don't believe their lies!
Red Fury shouted. They're telling the truth, my friend, Kolnikov replied. The Cold War is indeed over. Your original purpose no longer has any meaning in this new world. The Soviet Union collapsed, it was not conquered, and yes, we are now friends with the United States and our other allies in the West. But today's Russia needs heroes more than ever. Red Dawn can still serve a valuable purpose in this world. Okay, fair enough. Sako from the Bo Burnham special. They're the token non-DC character. I'm in. I'm down for it. Why would the general know? Why not just have the doctors because I don't think they want the characters to survive. Let's see. We're now friends with the United States and the West, but today Russia needs heroes more than ever. Red Dawn can still serve a valuable purpose in this world.
Why should we believe you, General, that we have been searching out to tell us the truth?
Red Fury shouted, looking around at the house and gardens.
How did you acquire the means to live your very comfortable, secluded life here?
Oh shit, Red Fury's gonna know the General's a traitor! I admit that back then I did some things the Soviet government would not have approved of, Kolnikov said. Maybe sold a secret or two, but that's ancient history now.
So, you admit to being a traitor, and then you ask me to believe you?
Red Fury blustered.
No!
Listen, Flash said, running out of patience. You've got a much bigger problem. Have you forgotten? You're going to die unless he can remember what Pushkin said 20 years ago. The stabilizing field, Kolnikov shouted. That's it! I remember now. Red Dawn was exposed to a stabilizing field right before the freezing process took place. But Pushkin said that they had to be exposed to the same stabilizing field soon after awakening, as well, in order to maintain the integrity of their genetic structures. That must be why Pushkin didn't live long after awakening. He was never exposed to the stabilizing field, either before or after being placed in hibernation. Let's go! Flash cried. We've got to get Blaze back to that lab and expose her to the stabilizing field again. You two are welcome to come if... When Flash turned toward the spot where Red Fury and Sanu had been standing, he found that they were gone. Apparently, those two are incapable of trusting me, said Kolnikov, pointing after Red Fury and Sanu, who had flown to the top of the nearby volcano. Even at the price of their own lives. If Green Lantern dies, I'm genuinely curious to who the ring goes to. I'm convinced that Cairo has Jon Stewart's ring. Red Fury stood on a thin ledge at the top of the long inactive volcano with Sanu at his side. So great was his anger at General Kolnikov's apparent betrayal, the leader of Red Dawn hadn't stuck around long enough to discover that the general indeed had the one piece of information that could save his life.
We may die, Sanu, Red Fury snarled, but so will the general.
Sanu had never seen her comrade so enraged, so completely out of control. Even she, who had been his most loyal partner, began to question both his sanity and the wisdom of his current course of action. Peering deep into the opening at the top of the mountain, Red Fury fired twin beams of intense heat into the volcano. A deep rumble shook the island. We don't have time for this, Flash cried. We've got to get back.
I'm afraid not, Hotshot,
Green Lantern said as the rumbling grew louder and the steam poured from the volcano's top.
It looks like Red Fury has activated the volcano with his heat beams. If that thing blows up, it'll wipe out not only Kolnikov, but everyone else on this island.
At that moment, the volcano spat forth a small flow of lava. The flaming liquid rock dripped down the side of the mountain, a preview of more intense destruction to follow. Up on the edge of the volcano, Red Fury and Sanu peered down into the fiercely bubbling lava.
The traitor will pay dearly for his treachery,
Red Fury exclaimed. Then a wave of dizziness overcame him, much more intense than the sensation he had first felt during his battle with Wonder Woman. Sweat broke out on his face as his legs gave way. No longer able to support his body, he let out a shriek of pain and collapsed, tumbling into the churning volcano. No! Cried Sanu. She dove toward him. her right arm outstretched over the edge, reaching down and closing her fist on what she hoped would be Red Fury's arm. But she was too late, and now clutched at the air, empty-handed. Damn. Damn. So, like, goodbye, Red Fury. Next thing we know, Sam Graham, writer of I've Got Batman in My Basement, worst episode of any DCAU show, will write one of these books. God, I could only hope. Why didn't they just snap the general's neck right then and there? Because why do that when you could get yourself dead? Oh, that was a nice stretch. Oh god, that felt good. Seeing Red Fury vanish below the lip of the volcano, Flash reacted instinctively, speeding up the side of the mountain, past the spot where Sanu lay sprawled, then down inside the volcano's outer wall. He reached a point just above the scorching lava, then extended his arms and caught Red Fury's plunging body mere seconds before it would have splashed into the molten rock. Gotcha! Flash cried as his left foot narrowly skimmed the surface. Oh, okay. Well then. That was premature. I apologize, everybody. Red Fury isn't dead. He's still here with us. Red Fury, get back behind Blaze the cat. Oh, where did he go? I thought I dragged him down. He's not getting behind her. I don't know why. Oh well. It's not the biggest deal in the world. This is a kid's book. That'd be far too violent. Yeah, more violent than a fucking puddle of goo. Gotcha! Flash cried as his left foot narrowly skimmed the surface of the blistering magma. Finding his footing on a thin ledge just above the lava, the Flash strained under the heft of Red Fury's considerable weight. Fighting to keep his balance, Flash dashed along the inner rim of the mountain. Yow! He cried, feeling intense heat seep through his costume. His skin burned and his legs ached from the extra effort of thrusting his body forward while supporting his hefty burden. Flash finally reached the far side of the volcano. He ran up the inner wall, over the outer lip, and down the far side of the mountain. Reaching Green Lantern and General Kolnikov, the Scarlet Speedster placed Red Fury's unconscious body onto the ground. "I think he's alive," Flash said, gasping, winded from his rescue effort. "But, if you'll excuse me," whoosh! Flash raced across the tiny island, back past the grass airstrip, heading toward the ocean. He dashed across the white sand beach, then dove headfirst into the breakers, submerging his body completely in the cool water. Relief came instantly. As he cooled, feeling returned to his numb, blistered feet. "Note to self," he thought as he stepped from the water. "The next time you go volcano hopping, wear very, very thick-soled boots. And try not to be carrying an extra 250 pounds of muscle." By the time Flash had run back to the others, his costume had dried completely, the wind created by his super speed having evaporated the water as he moved. "You okay, Oh, that's Green Lantern. "You okay, Hotshot?" Amy, the joke. Okay, real talk. In JLU, could Amazo in his golden form beat Darkseid? Also, does anyone think that the creator of DBZ got influenced by Amazo's golden form for Frieza's golden form? I doubt the DBZ thing, but could he beat Darkseid? Maybe. How did Flash not die from the heat stroke there? Maybe his molecules we're going through it. Flash wants Blaze to give him a heat stroke. True. Oh my god, true. True. Let's see.
You okay, Hotshot?
Green Lantern asked. Fine, Flash replied. I just thought it would be a nice time for a little dip in the ocean. Looking down at the soles of his boots, he saw that they were black and shredded. My shoes could use a shine, though. How's he? He asked, nodding toward Red Fury.
Not so good,
Green Lantern replied.
We can't bring him around and this whole body keeps shaking.
Come on, you big stubborn lug, Flash said, kneeling beside the sweating, twitching figure on the ground. I didn't almost turn my feet into toast just to have you die. You saved him, said a low, strained voice from behind. Ooh, excuse me. Aggressively dabs. Oh no. Whirling around, Flash saw Sanu standing a few yards away. You risked your life to save your enemy, she said in amazement. Like I've been saying about 10 billion times, Flash replied, turning back to Red Fury. We're not your enemy. My enemy is Dr. Eggman. I know that now, Sanu said, but I fear that we have learned it too late. We've got to get both of you back to the lab, Flash said, leaping to his feet. We'll have to pick up Blaze and... Ah! Red Fury's scream startled everyone. They watched in horror as his face began to stretch and his skin split, dropping away in jagged, bleeding clumps. Sanu stared down in horror, and Flash looked away bitterly as the life drained from Red Fury's body. His blood spreading in the milky white sand. Within minutes, the process was over. A small pool of liquid genetic material mingled with the red and green costume of the former leader of Project Red Dawn. This one wasn't as gruesome. As I'm watching, I just realized the B-Test episodes are out of order on HBO Max. That they are. They have convenient sudden plot death syndrome. Sanu stared down in horror, and Flash looked away bitterly. Oh, wait, no, I read that already. Flash was stunned by the depth of his sadness for the loss of a so-called enemy. I thought I had saved him, he said bitterly. And now, with that, Zavik is actually gone. Oh, I see what happened. Image 5 was the general, and I put him under chaos on accident. I had got myself mixed up. There we go. No more havoc from Zavik.
You did all you could, Flash,
Green Lantern replied, clasping a firm but comforting hand on Flash's shoulder.
Right now, we've got to help the others.
Blaze! The single word filled Flash's thoughts. Let's go!
Sploom! Voosh!
Plumes of lava shot from the volcano, splattering and sizzling down the sides of the mountain. It appears that Red Fury may have the last laugh on us after all, Kolnikov said, watching as flames and smoke poured from the volcano. No! Shouted Sanu. He was wrong, General. I know that now, and I will not let destruction be his legacy. Running with surprising speed, Sanu dashed back toward the volcano. She felt foolish having held on to her outdated beliefs for so long. Still, she could not bring herself to be disloyal to Red Fury. With her leader gone, she felt the need to make up for his final mistake. Sanu reached the top of a smaller mountain adjacent to the volcano. The mountain's peak came to a fairly sharp point, tapering down to a narrow ledge on all sides. Moving swiftly around the thin strips of rock, Sanu unleashed earth-shattering punches. Her fist plunged deep into the mountain, blasting large holes all the way around. Damn. You know how it be. Just blasting the large holes. When she had completed perforating the top section of the mountain, she shoved her hands into two of the holes and lifted. Straining to the very limits of her enormous strength, Sanu tore the top off the mountain, struggling to keep her balance as she supported the round cone-like chunk of rock.
Let me give you a hand with that,
Said a voice from above. Green Lantern hovered in midair, aiming his power ring. The Emerald Warriors surrounded the chunk of mountaintop with a wide beam. Then he lifted the cone-shaped rock from Sanu's grasp, rotating it so that the sharp point now faced downward. Hold on. Earth-shattering punches directed directly at Earth. Oh no! I'm a simple man. I see Sonic, I click. It do be that way. Where were we? Emerald Warrior. Then he lifted the cone-shaped rock from Sanu's grasp, rotating it so that the sharp point now faced downward. Guiding the rock over the still-spewing volcano, Green Lantern lowered it into the opening, then released his power beam. Boom! The enormous chunk of mountaintop slammed into the volcano's gaping mouth. While not a perfect fit, it did the job of capping the churning lava, keeping it contained within the mountain, allowing enough steam to escape so that pressure didn't build up beneath it. The lava would eventually cool down, and the volcano would resume its dormant state. Green Lantern landed next to Sanu on the ledge of the nearby mountain. Good idea, he said, extending his hand. Thanks for your assistance, she replied, reaching out and accepting the handshake. I thought I could carry that piece of the mountain over the volcano myself, but I suppose there are limits even to my great strength.
That's why we work as a team,
Green Lantern said. I look forward to working with you again, Sanu offered. Then she collapsed into the Emerald Warrior's arms. Red light pulsated, filling the central room of the cryogenic laboratory deep in the Ural Mountains. 4 figures lay motionless, strapped onto lab tables, as the crimson energy washed over them. In the lab's control room, Flash paced back and forth anxiously. Wonder Woman followed him from one end of the room to the other, trying to help steady his nerves. Green Lantern sat at the main computer, supervising the operation. With Batman's assistance via the comlink, he had managed to set up the stabilizing field that now surrounded the 4 surviving members of Red Dawn. Flash and Green Lantern had taken Sanu to the Javelin 7. After a brief stop at the Watchtower to pick up Blaze and Wonder Woman, they had headed back to the lab in Russia. Beacon and Grey Heron were already sprawled on the lab tables near death, as Batman and Green Lantern had accessed the computer sequence to engage the stabilizing field. Flash and Wonder Woman had strapped Blaze and Sanu down for the procedure. The heroes had also agreed to keep General Kolnikov's whereabouts secret from the Russian authorities. Those officials, who may have heard of the general, most likely assumed he was dead. Kolnikov was happy in his life away from the rest of the world. Flash and Green Lantern saw no reason to disturb that privacy, especially since the information he had provided gave Red Dawn their one chance for survival. The stabilizing process wound down, and the bright red glow faded slowly, replaced by the faint illumination of dim white lights. Restraining straps retracted, and the 4 figures stirred, drifting gradually back to consciousness. Are they about to plug the volcano? Butt plug, true. When I saw the picture of Sonic, I thought it was a joke, and then remembered the video where the Black Templars show up to Sonic World. If anyone knows what I'm talking about. Was that, the Black Templars show up to Sonic World? Is that Sonic and the Black Knight? I'm drawing a blank on what exactly you're referring to. One by one, they slid from the tables, confused but relieved to be alive. Flash couldn't stand it any longer. He zoomed to Blaze's side. "Want a race?" he joked, watching as her strength returned with each passing second. "Give me 10 minutes." I just gave her the Russian accent. Fuck it. Why not? You would think that there would be a language barrier between these characters, right? Like, they're Russian super soldiers who have been on ice for over 20 years. Give me 10 minutes, she replied, rubbing her temples. Then I'll give you a head start. Cute, said Flash, greatly relieved. I'm glad you're feeling better. Thank you all, Sanu said as Green Lantern and Wonder Woman joined the others in the central room. You've saved our lives. Where's Red Fury? Beacon asked as his head began to clear. Sanu filled him and Grey Heron in on the events of what had taken place on the volcanic island. We were foolish to follow him so blindly, Grey Heron said, spreading his wings for the first time since falling ill. I had a strong sense that he was wrong, but I chose to ignore it.
Loyalty is an admirable trait,
Green Lantern replied.
but you've got to trust your own judgment as well.
So what do we do now? Blaze asked. Maddie, the Shadow, Chaos, and the General are gone now. No, the Chaos is gone. I choose to believe that there's still a Shadow at the General's house. The General just isn't here, though. But yeah, I'll remove the Chaos. But everyone else stays. The Black Templars are a Space Marine chapter who hate Xenos mutants in here. It's a good video by Flash. I'll have to give it a go. So what do we do now? Blaze asked. I'd love to show you around the USA, my home sweet home, Flash replied quickly. I meant about our futures, Blaze explained, gesturing towards her 3 teammates.
I think your great powers could be put to use helping the Russian people, Green Lantern said. Not to mention the rest of the world. You might have been created to be weapons of war, but there's plenty of work for you to do right here, even with the Cold War over. The Justice League would be happy to contact the Russian authorities to set up introductions.
Yes, Sanu said, with Beacon and Grey Heron nodding their agreement. We can be of use to our people, and maybe one day Russia will speak of Red Dawn the way the world now views the heroes of the Justice League.
I look forward to that day,
Green Lantern said. I'd still like to show you around, Flash offered Blaze, once again reluctant to leave, having come so close to losing her. Blaze nodded. I would like that, she said. I would like that very much. Comrade Maddie, it's true. Damn. We're in the final stretch. Oi, we're in the epilogue. I hope it's just a sex scene between Flash and Blaze. They're gonna keep the name Red. I guess so. Flash and his teammates gathered on the watchtower. Blaze had decided to stay in Russia for a few days to help the other members of Red Dawn adjust. She would then rejoin Flash in Central City for a couple of days before returning home for good. Superman, J'onn J'onzz, and Hawkgirl had returned from the World Assembly, where tensions between the United States and Russia had eased. Russian authorities were filled in on the details of Red Dawn, and a meeting was set up so that they could officially meet their very own team of superheroes. And so, Flash, J'onn J'onzz asked, are you ready for another lesson in meditation? Nah, the Scarlet Speedster replied. His thoughts focused on Blaze's return. I understand how important it is for me to slow down and appreciate what really matters. But for the moment, at least, things seem to be moving at just the right pace. Tell me about this Bond person again? Blaze said, shoving a fistful of popcorn into her mouth. Bond! James Bond! Flash replied, reaching over and scooping out some for himself from the large round tub that Blaze clutched in her arms. He's a super spy. He saves the world. He fought the Russians. Alright, not funny. Blaze rolled her eyes and reached for the large container of soda, resting in the built-in cup holder on the back of the seat in front of her. She took a long, sweet sip. The crowd filed into the Central City multiplex, finding seats, carrying their munchies. Hey, hold on. We about to do some timeline shit. Let's see. Central City multiplex is here. I feel like half of Flash's lines in this book is meant to be followed with canned laughter. Probably. What a hell. No dying. No dying.
Meditation? That's no good.
What Bond movie is it? That's what we're about to figure out. James Bond movies in order. We're in the early 20th century. So it's totally got to either be Die Another Day or The World Is Not Enough. No. It's got to be The World Is Not Enough. Or no, it's got to be Die Another Day. They keep saying that they're in the early 21st century. But it's only been like 20 years, so Die Another Day would probably be the one. James Bond is referenced, given we're in the early 21st century. Likely Die Another Day. Let's see.
Now, John, where's those chili dogs?
Probably not a good watch for someone who almost just died. So they're watching one of the worst Bond movies. Probably. I don't have too much familiarity with James Bond, but I mean they're in the theater, so like it's gotta be that one. Let's see. The popcorn and soda are enough, Blaze said. The movie feels like a bonus.
And there's more!
Flash replied, grabbing another handful of popcorn.
After the movie, we'll get some iced mocha. Then for tomorrow, I got tickets to Central City 400. It's a stock car race. It's fast. Not as fast as us, but it's very cool. You'll love it.
Do you think Flash and Blaze showed up to this like in costume? Or do you think he just like automatically dropped his secret identity for her? I have played Kingdom Hearts, but not the other ones. No, I've played Smash Bros. Ultimates, but I've played every Kingdom Hearts except for the rhythm game one that's out now. Die Another Day is a good summary of Red Dawn's status in this story. Costume was what I was thinking as well. Sitting in the movie theater in Central City, Blaze felt pleased with her decision to visit Flash in the United States. So far, he had taken her to an amusement park, a miniature golf course, a bowling alley, 2 malls, an art museum, and a concert at a local club. Do you think it was Remy Zero and Smash Mouth? She was enjoying her whirlwind tour of the American cultural landscape, but her thoughts had started to turn toward the meetings scheduled to take place in a few days back home. Red Dawn was to be formally introduced to Russia's highest governmental and military officials, and Blaze was anxious, but also excited to start her new life as a hero in her own land. She felt a great responsibility to her teammates, who were really her only family, and she hoped that one day soon, Red Dawn and the Justice League would team up to help the world. Blaze had also grown quite fond of Flash, and knew she would miss him when she left in a few days. But thanks to their super speed, she felt confident that their blossoming transcontinental friendship, I thought that said transactional for a second, would be easy enough to maintain. They'd be in costume, I hope. Capitalism speed run. Fucking true. It is funnier that way. That's what I was envisioning. And there's more, said Flash. We can pirate...
And there's more, said Flash. We can pirate movies for free on the internet. Piracy is hype and edgy to do, just like Shadow the Hedgehog.
How come you like Sonic more than Super Mario and Legend of Zelda? I mean... because Sonic's objectively cool. They be jamming out some good old Toby Keith music. Oh, fuck yeah. I'd be down for Flash being a Toby Keith fan. Honestly, it makes sense with the way this book is written. Talking about American girls, American guys will always stand up and salute, will always recognize when you see old glory flying. Toby Keith did some really great pop propaganda music in the wake of 9/11. Their friendship is trans. More Blaze trans confirmation. True. Just drew Sonic Flash? Hell yeah. Does that can you're drinking from ever run out? Yes. 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 They run out. Let's see. As the lights in the theater dimmed and the first commercial flickered up onto the screen, she turned and kissed Flash softly on the cheek. "Thank you," she whispered, "for everything." "Sweetheart," he said, looking right at her, "I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship that never fucking goes anywhere." This is the last time we ever see Blaze.
"We'll put a boot in their ass. It's the American way. And Uncle Dan put your name on the top of his list. And Flash got friend-zoned after taking that kiss."
Oh, Flash friendzoned her. Also true. Y'all want to know about the author? I'll read to y'all about the author. Fuck it. This is the last bit of this book. We might as well. Michael Teitelbaum is the author of Justice League Secret Origins. He has been a writer, editor, and packager of children's books, comic books, and magazines for more than 20 years. He has worked on staff as an editor at Gold Key Comics, Golden Books, Putnam Grosset, and Macmillan. His packaging company, Town Brook Press, created and packaged Spider-Man Magazine, a monthly publication for Marvel Entertainment. Michael Teitelbaum's more recent writing includes the Garfield Pet Force books, a series of 5 titles, Breaking Barriers in Sports, and Life, based off the life of Jackie Robinson, Samurai Jack, The Legend Begins, and Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker, all published by Scholastic. Junior novels based on the feature films Men in Black 2 and Spider-Man, and Smallville: Arrival. Michael and his wife, Shalea, split their time between New York City and their 160-year-old farmhouse in upstate New York. It do be a good song, Danny. Blaze just falls over dead a second later. God, I wish. No wonder this book was full of propaganda. It's made by a semi-rich business owner. True. You still like Zelda and Super Mario and Metroid, right? Metroid Fusion is one of my favorite games of all time. I'm not like as familiar with the Zelda franchise as I should be. I've played a couple games and I enjoy them. And Mario's a lot of fun, yeah. There's Samurai Jack novels, apparently. Oh, Maddie, could I send the video I was talking about with Sonic and the Black Templars after the stream? Sure, go for it. To close the stream out, you should read the Amazon reviews for this book. Maddie only plays Sonic games. God, that would be the life. Oh. Hey, check this out. Do I want to become rich and famous? Do I want to become rich and famous? Ban. There we go. There we go. That's how we deal with that. Wowie, no, don't fall for their lies. Okay, fine. Let's do a couple Amazon reviews real quick, but then I am gonna bolt out of here. We've been on for 3 hours now. Jeez. Don't forget to include the review from a future critic. Oh, true. Sonic and Resident Evil, the true path to enlightenment. That is true. Did I see the Sonic Archie comics? I haven't read all of them, but yeah, I know about them. Alright, where are my reviews? There's a total of 5. Estereo says, nice quick read. If you're a fan of the Justice League animation, this is a great story with funny elements in it and a good finish. Worth getting. From Korak. Didn't know these were available on audio. It's great, and I'd already read the... There's an audio book? Hold the fucking phone! Justice League... Red Justice... audiobook. The audiobook is $120 fucking dollars. There's gotta be. I can't justify the $120 purchase right now. But god fucking damn, hold on. At the very least, let me check eBay real quick. Oh god, it's not typing. Get those emails out of here. Justice League Red Justice. It's not even showing me the book. Just the book. God damn it. That would make for a hilarious night in the Discord. True. True. Hold on. Hold on. Does this mean that the other ones are available as audiobooks? Oh, fuck. In Darkest Night is an audiobook. Damn, and they want $200 fucking dollars for that. Oh my god. Wherever's easier for you, James. If you're in the Discord, you could drop it in there. Oh god, I want this audiobook now. We could make our own, yeah, but I feel like the official product that just reads this with a straight face is gonna be fucking hilarious. Fun with an unexpected plot twist. I have read all of the Justice League series books to my kids, 1 through 6, and we have enjoyed them all. This one is particularly fun as it chronicles the Flash's experiences. The Flash is entertaining because of his witty comments and sense of humor. This book even has a little romance for the Scarlet Speedster and an unexpected twist in its plot. I like how the series is written because it does not dumb down the book. Yes, the fuck it does. My kids' vocabulary actually increases every time we sit down to enjoy one of these novels together. Hal Jones, review of a future critic. I personally think that this book was horrible because it was about the Flash and Soviet super soldiers. I barely made it to the end. In the Justice League, the Justice League must convince their counterparts that the US and Russia are friends now. Come to think of it, that means there wasn't much fighting in this book. But for collectors, the only good set is a full set. Oh, wait, reviews from other countries. Red Justice is a good young adult / older child's novel set in the DC animated universe about the Justice League, TV series, blah, 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 blah. This is a proper novel, not a comic book. I bought it secondhand for less than €1, or £1, I guess. And I'm very pleased with it. Of course, it's not serious reading, but it's fun, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Alright, can we leave a review? Can I review this book? Yes, write a customer review. Hold on, I'm gonna run to the restroom right quick, and we will come back and review the book ourselves. Oh, there we go. There we go. Let's get rid of the Sonic characters really quick so that you can see so that you can have the review. All right, what are we gonna rate this book? I feel like maybe a strong 2, a 2-star review, maybe 3. It was a fun time. Can we do like 2.5 stars? No. Make Russia Great Again is gonna be the headline. Just message the Watchtower Database Facebook and go, okay. Sounds good. James will probably see that first, but I have been reading the Justice League animated series tie-in books as part of research for my YouTube channel, Watchtower Database. And while they all vary in quality, this one had to have been the most insane. Don't get me wrong, Michael Teitelbaum seems like a nice enough guy. And he did give the world Shelby the Smooth Collie. Let's see, a golden opportunity. But the politics of this book don't really hold up under scrutiny. Perhaps this is more apparent in a post-Trump world rather than slightly post 9/11. 3 stars for the irony factor. If it wasn't for mentioning Watchtower Database, they wouldn't know it was for researching comics. They would probably think it's for researching real-life history. 6 stars? We can't give it 6 stars. Perhaps this is more apparent in a post-Trump world rather than slightly post-9/11. But the consistent suggestion that American manufactured propaganda just simply doesn't exist is laughable, as is the conflation of communism and nationalism. The book consistently ignores the author's own slant into American exceptionalist American exceptionalism talking points, while acting as if the Russian characters are misguided for doing the things that he is actively writing. Using Mount Rushmore as a backdrop for one of the few battles in the book, while not even acknowledging the fact that it is defaced, stolen, native land, was quite a red flag. Perhaps the funniest moment of them all, though, comes from the section in which one of the communist Russian sleeper agents declares their desire to make Russia great again. Now, I don't know where exactly I heard something similar in recent memory, but I could probably go out on a limb and say it wasn't exactly a communist who was who made it their presidential campaign slogan. All in all, I had a fun time reading this with an active audience, but most of the fun simply came from how rough the text itself is. How old was the person you got this book for? It was for me. I am 13 plus. How would you rate the difficulty level for this age? Easy. And submit. Okay. Is this my only... I think this might be my only Amazon review so far. But now it has been done. We have finished the book. The reviews have been read. A new review has been made. Let's see. Doesn't hold up under scrutiny, just like the Yellow Jester's argument. This book is literally propaganda. Very true. So Maddie, the video I sent, I'm sorry about the title of it. I did not make the video I sent. Blame that on Flash Gets. Just hope James doesn't get mad at me. I don't know what it's titled, but he might find it silly. Shelby the Smooth Collie would have blown up Mount Rushmore without any problems. Fact, that's true. I was gonna make dinner not long before you started stream. I have not made dinner. Well, go make dinner because I have to go clean my apartment and probably eat as well and all that stuff pretty soon. We gotta pick up a friend to bring them over to introduce them to cats and all that kind of stuff because they're watching our cats while we're gone. So I'm gonna get out of here. I've spent too much time with y'all today. Y'all take care. You have a wonderful evening, and I will see you all on Saturday when we finish doing the Hush Beyond arc of the Earth 12 comics. Have a fun day. Thanks for hanging out. Love y'all. Mwah.